Good morning. Good fucking bitch. Every time. Jesus. Good morning. Hello. Good morning. Good morning. Hi. Thank you. Thank you for Fix Your Shrimps. Also, hello. Thank you so much for taking your folks on tour, Nordic. I really appreciate you. I love you, my man. Hello, tourists. My name is Lilybell. I love to travel, and I don't usually wake up this early. Good morning, everyone. Hi. Good morning. Thank you so much for being here for my Funathon, day 14. My name is Lilybell. I love to travel, but I suck at geography. Hello. How was your stream, Nordic? I love you. You just played, like, Dead by Daylight, right? How's Dead by Daylight? When are these updates supposed to come out? Or did they already come out? I'm sorry. I'll tell you about my weekend in, like, just a second. Why are we fixing my shrimp? My fucking shoulders are ass. That's why. It hurt. Congratulations on making it 2 weeks into the fun. Holy shit, it's only been 2 weeks? Jesus fucking Christ. Oh, God. Oh, God. But yes, thank you so much. Congratulations to you guys for 2 weeks into our Funathon. Let's go. Woo! Day 14. Okay. Anyways, yes, hello. My name is Lilybell. I love to travel, but I suck at geography. Today is day 14 of my Funathon. As you can see, the timer is just going steady. Plenty of time left to be here with me. My weekend was great. How was everybody else's weekend? So have you lost your mind yet? Joke's on you, Mrs. Psychic. It was never here. My weekend was pretty good, except for the fact that I had to go out to the desert and my entire body is all dried up now. So if you hear me go, oh shit, like randomly in the middle of like the day today, I definitely have a bloody nose. And you know the sucky part, right? Is like when you're like, whoa, this is like so dry. And then you like go move something in your nose and like, oh, it just restarts your bloody nose sequence. Yeah. Well done. Well done. You performed a concert? How'd it go, Dev? How'd it go? Zero was good. Wish it was longer. Right on. Your medical exams came out pretty good. You aced it? You aced it? You aced your medical exams or what? You had a horrible bloody nose 4 days in a row. Oh, Jesus. What the hell is the weather going on in your little tiny bitch state? Huh? What's going on? What's Pathfinder? That's a game. Never mind. I lied. That's a game. Pathfinder. It was great. We killed it. Yeah, that's what we like to hear. Shout outs to that. Today we have more FNAF currently. Later on, we're going to have a collab with 13, one of my favorite VTubers, one of my favorite friends. And then I will be taking a break. That is something that I have to tell you guys. I'm so sorry. But I am introducing some more health tactics. And by that, I mean I ate a shit ton during the weekend. So I have to go to the gym today. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You drink a lot? Let's not talk about that. But Twitter Space Gym? I can't. What do you mean Twitter Space Gym? Some random ass person's gonna be like, damn, I love being in this New York gym. And I'm gonna be like, fuck, now everybody knows I'm in New York. Like, hello? I can't tour. What do you mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't work. I mean, there's ways we can do it, but it's not exactly the best way, all right? I live in New York. That's great. It's for the ASMR experience. You guys are convincing me, and that's an issue, all right? That's a problem, okay? Oh, good test. Thank you. Here. Lillian NY? For real, or is this a bit? This is a bit. This is a bit, hun. I'm not in New York. As far as you know. Dun dun. Try it again. Should be on now. What kind of issues? Wait, what issues are we talking about? sorry. It's early. I'm not usually this early in the morning. Okay. But yeah, so we'll be doing that, and then we have to do some ASMR packages and send out some packages today. We just have to, okay? There's a bunch of people waiting to get a bunch of my old junk. Classic. Thank you very much for wanting my old junk. So there. Do you want to try chat redeem again? Here, I'll
Pog Online Poggers.
There we go.
This is a test. Also, I missed all of my fans.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, my scarf buddies. They need their scarves, okay? That's not old junk. It's just ugly. But I mean, they're handmade with ADHD and anxiety. So a little bit of love, I guess, you know, but a whole lot of personality. I'll fucking tell you that. My scarves have personality, okay? They decide to go this way and then they decide to go the other way, right? And they're like, oh, I'm just going to be really, really thin on this part and really, really thick on this part. A lot of beautiful personality. Yes, my weekend was good. I went out to a little deserty area. I've got bloody nose. I realize for sure I'm getting to that age in my life where I definitely don't want to, like, I enjoy vacationing, but I hate sleeping in beds that aren't mine. You know, like how your body is used to like the mold of your bed and like your bed just becomes the comfiest thing on earth. Like I even took my like special neck pillows thing, right? My pillow has like I don't know what material it's made of, but it's like neck supported really well, which is something I need after my surgery now. And even then, the bed was simply too soft. So my body just like is hurting. My neck is just hurting. I can't help that. And then I figured, yeah, that's probably also another reason I need to get back to the gym, right? Because apparently, I don't know why this would happen, but if you strengthen your body and build muscle, you have less aches. Isn't that ridiculous? Isn't that fucking weird? That's wild. Like if you take care of your body will take care of you. That's some weird, that's a fucking scam. That's some scam ass shit. More of a scam than fucking, you know what I mean? Crazy. Loves traveling, hates beds that haunt hers. Honestly, it used to not be bad. But then I like before 2019, my car crash, I was like, yeah, whatever, throw my body around, put me on the floor, I don't fucking care. And then I got into my car crash, and now, like, every single time I move on another bed, it's literally like, ow, ow, ow. Like, I wake up, and, like, my body is just punching me in the face. Yeah. Am I finally gonna get my scarves? It's one scarf. Hopefully you're, basically finding it. Yeah, that's so fucking weird. And that said, we're gonna try to start slowly implementing. I'm excited, okay? This is the first week we're gonna start slowly implementing some things, okay? I want myself, and probably you, if you have the ability to drink a lot more water. I am realizing now that I am not nearly drinking enough water. So maybe we need to make sure after every segment we do that I definitely have at least already drank a full bottle of something. Of water, not something. Water. That's right. Also, later on today, we have a Valorant collab. It's going to be our first day of our Valorant training arc. So that's what we're going to be implementing. A little bit of Valorant every day from now on. That doesn't sound terrible to me yet, but I know it's going to sound terrible to me like 2 minutes into actually doing it. Hi, Cactus. How about put that on mileage points, drink water? So I think this is actually something that I'm surprised. Oh, I'm not surprised, but I have to clarify because there's no notes on it. Swallow noises is me swallowing water. I think I need to rename it. And I don't know if people understand this. There's no context clues for this anymore because it used to be you know, it's swallow noises because spitters are for quitters. And so whenever somebody redeems swallow noises, it's drinking water. It is swallow noises, Spectre. You're right. Yeah, no, I think it's just, it's okay. You guys just did, yeah, it's fine. People will figure it out eventually. It's not a big deal. But, just add a description like AKA drink water. Yeah, okay. I guess I could do that. I guess I'll make it easier on my viewers to become viewers or something. It literally says in the description, I hydrate. In swallow noises, it already has a description. The description says I hydrate. Do I really genuinely need to spell some shit out like this now, huh? I hydrate, comma, I drink water, backsplash, you know, water is ingested into my lung. No, not lungs. What the fuck? Water is ingested. Yes. Damn. Okay. Remember that forever. Remember. Oh, well, thank you. Thank you, Sugar Shoe. Thank you. Hold on.
I even do a little nice thing for it too. Hold on.
See? Yeah. Okay, so now I know. My community is just full of cute little fun people who need things to be spelled out. That's fine. Sounds like me. So, bro, that was a jump scare. Lily, we're dumb. Axel, please don't say that. You're like half of my entire operation, Axel, please. All right? The other, like, 40% are the other mods, and then the 10% is me. You still gonna play WoWs? Yeah, I will still play WoWs, just not today, unfortunately. We have some packages to do. Thank you very much. Thank you.
The Jack Norris is welcome to the Jack Norris, welcome to Label Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight.
That said, yeah, we have a shit ton of things to do. For the Funathon goals to start breaking them down out here. I want you guys to know I have been getting proofs of some of the emotes, so some of that is working on. I am on wait list for a couple of the art. That's okay. I'm not in too much of a rush for some of that because I know you guys are looking for something else. You guys would be like, if I got the SAT one, you guys would be like, do that now. Do the SAT. What else was I saying? Yeah, so obviously today is Funathon day 14. We've done it. We've gotten to 2 weeks. Woo! Tomorrow I can make the day 15. Give it up for day 15 joke, even though I've definitely been doing it every other day. We currently are at 387 hours, 35 minutes, and 34 seconds. As you can see, all the rules are on the bottom left. We've got, all the minutes are both add and subtract. Bits are double on the dollar, right? So you can either add or subtract 2 minutes for every $1, for bits and donos. And every 2 hours, aka every 120 minutes that's exchanged, is another spin on the wheel. Speaking of that, where are we on that? Hold on. I ain't gonna figure this out. We're 24 out of 120 minutes until our next spin. I would love to figure out a way to actually write some shit like that down. Hold on. Can I do text? Yes. Here. I want it to have a little banner to show that that's where we're at, right? Unfortunately, I don't know. I don't like nothing will count bits and subs and donations all together properly, which is kind of annoying, but it is the way that it is. There. Yep. Woo! Okay. That said, hi, Wraith. Am I staying out of trouble? All right, time for FNAF. We're going to continue on from our FNAF day the other day. I was like, ha 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 ha, I'm not going to make myself do this again, but I'm not even going to lie at this point. I need to know what other shit Matt is willing to pull out of his fucking vagina, okay? So it's FNAF time. She's too invested and I love it. No. Don't say it like that, Axel. I'm not too invested, all right? I'm not invested. I just think, all right, it would be a shame if I didn't at least try to see if there's more Balloon Boy stuff, obviously. I only care about Balloon Boy. I'm not invested. What the hell is going on? Oh, good. Galileo! Thank you so much. Thank you for continuing your first class. I very much appreciate it. Hello, dear. Thank you. Would you like to add time to the timer?
Hello,
or
Internet.
subtract time from
Welcome
the timer?
Screw it, you know by now. If I seem a bit off my game today, forgive me. You'll soon learn why.
Why
Pull up a
would
chair.
you-
Let's.
Galileo, think about what you're actually saying. You know you guys are... Ha 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 ha. Okay, all right, that's fine. Thanks. Thank you for adding time to the timer here. I also need to copy and paste this real quick. Sorry. Yes, we're just gonna move it like here or something. There.
Talk. Last episode caught you up on everything, and I do mean everything. All my past theories on FNAF 6, the gravestones, the
You
masks,
chose
the
violence
names
today?
of the children
You guys
inside the
didn't just
animatronics,
choose violence.
the
You guys
connections to the novels, and
specifically
the
chose
identity of the
suffering.
puppet. But then I showed you this. The FNAF Survival Logbook. The book that, in 7 years of doing this,
Right.
finally broke me. A book that contains within
A book that in all the years of doing it finally broke me. Shut the fuck up, Matt. Just shut. Okay, just a little refresher, you guys. I will forever, okay, talk about Matt as if he is the most annoying person ever in my life. Okay? But don't let it be twisted. I respect the man. Okay? Man's on the hustle, makes the money, all right? Makes the dollar holla, okay? And so there's nothing else he can do but be the most dramatic son of a bitch about every single time FNAF, like every like, I feel at this point it's like every 6 months to a year, all right? He needs to just go ahead and milk that fucking FNAF dick. And I respect it. You gotta accept it, right? You gotta accept that you're just punching the cum out of that FNAF dick, okay?
in its pages an elaborate series of codes that serve as the key to unlocking the identity of Golden Freddy. A freaking children's activity workbook with a dabbing chica in it is the thing to defeat me. Ugh. That dabbing chica taunts me in my nightmares. But Golden Freddy's Unbreakable Code is only the
It's not at max, but this is max
tip of
if
the
you want to
iceberg.
hear it.
This book is like a
I don't
repeated
think you
kick
guys
in the
are gonna
balls,
end up
as everything I
hearing
thought
me
I knew
as
about
much.
FNAF has
And you have to remember, this is about me here. Who gives a shit about Matt? That's what I'm saying. What do you want, asshole?
crumbled in front of my eyes. It's like Freddy Fazbear got a hold of the Infinity Gauntlet and snapped his fingers, and then all of my theories suddenly turned to dust. Because unlike the
Perfect.
novels,
Sounds
which
great. All right, it's time for us to do something else. Let's see. Oh, you know what? I could do the ASMR fucking gift packaging right the fuck now. Alrighty, we're changing this to ASMR now. Okay. Gift packaging. There. Sure. We've decided. Okay. Hold on. Oh, wait. I should change out the A to the ASMR thing. No, Lily. Beg, Axel. Beg. Beg for forgiveness. Apologize right the fuck now. It's easy, bro. It's easy. I don't need to fucking do this. Remember forever. I love you guys. That said, this is my house. This is my house. I feel like one of those women's champion wrestlers. They come in. This is my house. What do you mean this is your house? You've been at WWE for like how long and then you got injured? Hello? I wonder.
Have questionable canonicity, the
okay,
survival
he did
logbook
it.
outright answers a lot of our questions about these games. But the answers that it provides just lead to more questions. And not stupid small questions either.
I already know this is gonna be a fucking 19-minute episode about how confused he is about this thing. Even though he already did a whole other video that said the exact same thing last video.
Like, what's Mangle's gender? No! It upends huge parts
Wait,
of
why
the
do you guys
story.
need to know
The
what Mangle's
logbook
gender is?
simultaneously
That's
the most
sus.
important, most revealing, and most frustrating piece of evidence to ever be thrown into this franchise. You see, as I mentioned last time, this workbook once belonged to Mike, aka Michael Afton. The book establishes that Mike writes his answers in red pen. It also establishes
For the
that there's
lore?
a spirit possessing the book who speaks
And not
to Mike
just,
via
you know.
lightly faded text. From what I can gather, it appears to be the spirit of Gold.
See, I didn't know that this was lightly faded, so for a good second, I was like, did your kid write that? What the fuck, Matt?
And Freddy. And starting with that information, the logbook then proceeds to drop bombshell after bombshell as far as lore reveals go. First, the book outright confirms what we've known for a while now, that Mike
I want you to know I already turned it down the tiniest bit, okay? And it's still there. So in the
is
future,
same
I'm not
Mike who works
changing
as
the
night
volume
guard
ever.
During Sister Location, when asked what he would like for his 1-week bonus, we see him doodling in the corners of the page baskets of money and baskets of exotic butters. On another page, he's drawing a
I
smooth
still don't
set
know
of
the exotic
casual
butter
bongos.
thing.
Sure, it's nothing earth-shattering, but when it comes to this franchise, getting any portion of any theory confirmed is a big win. And while that reveal might not be all that earth-shattering, you know what is? The book reveals that Michael Afton is who we play as in FNAF 4. On page 40,
What?
the workbook starts
What?
asking about dreams, and via his doodles, we see that Mike somehow knows the appearance of Nightmare Fredbear, something only the protagonist of FNAF 4 should be aware of. To further confirm this, on page 23 of the book, the spirit who uses the book to talk to Mike outright asks, was your favorite childhood toy a plastic purple telephone? Which, as you may remember, is a direct reference to the purple telephone on the ground in the FNAF 4 bedroom. And if you still think it's a coincidence,
Wait, but then now my question is, why does this have to specifically be Michael Afton? Like, of all of the... Oh, wait, Michael is one of the kids. Okay, I was really confused for a second. I thought that Michael was the dad, and I was like, bro, why would we be playing as the dad? But that's on me.
it's not. 20 pages later, the spirit starts talking about whether any of the toys on the page look familiar. Most don't, except for one. The phone. Now, for the 8 of you who still remember how this whole freaking story fits together, you might be asking me, but we all thought the protagonist of FNAF 4 was the crying child, the one who gets himself bitten during the birthday party because you have flashes of a hospital bed and hear a flatline at the end of the game. We also assumed that the animatronic Nightmare was representative of death. And you know what? You're absolutely right. Nightmare was representative.
That shit popped out? That shit jump scared? Hello?
Hear a
In this
flatline at the
game?
end of the game. We also assumed that the animatronic Nightmare was
Yeah, nah, fam. I for real would have just, like, pissed my pants right there, dude.
representative of death. And you know what? You're absolutely right. That is exactly what we've been thinking. And here's the thing. We weren't wrong. We've apparently been right about all of that, except there was one teeny tiny itsy bitsy little wrinkle that we didn't expect. Michael Afton was the bite victim. Michael Afton was the crying child. I know! I couldn't believe it either, but the proof here is unquestionable. On page 75, a page asking about
This is wrong, right? This is I feel like this is wrong.
Imaginary friends and featuring the psychic friend Fredbear plush, the spirit outright asks, does he still talk to you? And perhaps the most damning piece of evidence of all, on page 103, the huge reveal, quote, the party was for you.
Okay, but where does this actually say? This all ties in, right? That the crying child is supposedly the one that's in FNAF 4. But where the fuck does it say that this has to be Michael? Like, why couldn't it just be, why isn't it another one? Who do you think the older brother is then? Fucking Matt, all right? If you're so fucking smart. You know what this is called? The theory that changed everything. Damn fucking theorists.
Mike Afton is confirmed to be the crying child. He's the bite victim. He's the one who, at the end of the game, apparently needed to be put back together. It seems undeniable at this point. But then that leads to the obvious next question. How could he have been bitten and died there, but then also be in sister location as an adult, gotten himself scooped, blah, 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 until FNAF 6 when he finally burns with the rest of his family? I have been smacking my head against a wall trying to make sense of it all, and I have some theories.
My favorite part is he has to smack his head against the wall to try and make sense of the wrong theory. Like, this is the main thing about theories, right? You can throw out a bunch of them, and more than likely, you're gonna have to disprove all of them. You know what I mean? None of them are actually, like, this is what theoryism is, or theorism, you know, right?
Big surprise
Hi,
there.
Doki.
It's interesting. When I did my final FNAF theory, not that one, my final
Why does this, well, how do we know that the book belongs to Michael? When did it say the book belonged to Michael?
FNAF theory. No, not that one either. Those are technically FNAF 6 theories.
It says in the start, so it says this book is owned by Michael? Okay, well then, in that case, I would believe it. If it says this book belongs to Mike, Mike, right? Oh, right, you're right. It says that Mike writes his name, and then in that case, I would believe it, right? In which it's like, okay, no shit. It says Mike right there, and then everything else says like stuff about FNAF 4, so understandable.
When I did this theory, I have been smacking my eyes there. It's interesting. When I did my final FNAF theory,
not that one.
My final FNAF theory.
No, not
that
one.
one either. Those are technically FNAF 6 theories. God, jeez, when I did this theory, I concluded that the story of FNAF was, at its core, a story about a family.
I like that Matt one for that.
But now it's becoming increasingly clear to me that it's really the story
of
Michael Afton
Appreciate
specifically. 4 games, 1 story, like Scott said back during the FNAF 4 days so long ago. It's the story of the crying child growing up, discovering the atrocities of his father, and then trying to make amends for those. We know for a fact that Michael Afton is the main character of FNAF 1 from the endgame paycheck, sister location from the name tag and custom night.
I found it. It was right where you said it would be.
FNAF 6 from Henry's closing monologue, and now FNAF 4 from the survival logbook. And we're still not done. The survival logbook also connects Mike to FNAF.
Whoa! Thank you so much, cutie! Thank you for the biddies. I appreciate it. That's so awesome. That's so nice. I appreciate it. All right, would you like to add time to the timer or subtract time from the timer, from the very large, huge, big fucking timer? Of course. Alrighty. Yeah, of course. Right, of course. Because you guys think we just will grow time on trees here. Fucking A. Thank you. I really do appreciate that, though. Thank you.
FNAF 2. On page 56, the spirit asks, was your favorite ride the carousel? A question that only makes sense if Mike had been to the FNAF 2 location, because it's the only one with a carousel. That means that the only game without a solid connection to Mike is FNAF 3, but then there's the whole,
Father, it's me, Michael.
complete with a burned down Fazbear fright in the background, which seems to be hinting at him being the person who burned the place down, trying to put an end to his father's reign of terror. Michael Afton even
Lily,
shares a
it's
connection
too
with
early
the dead
to
children
get
whose
this
names
mad?
appear on the gravestones,
In
going
what
back to the survival
world?
logbook. See, I
My
told you
boy,
guys this thing
I'll
was
wake
important.
up
When
mad,
the
the
book asks about
fuck?
missing people on account of them being stuffed into animatronic suits, the spirit asks, do you miss them? It clearly connects Michael Afton to the other missing kids who go on to possess the animatronic suits. This means that Michael is connected to every game
Sorry,
and
the tides are
every
turning.
major
Aw,
character in the
Axel,
story. So
is
let's
this about
update it
FNAF?
to 6 games,
Is this about
one
the
story.
FNAF volume?
Michael's
Is this what it's
story.
about?
Which is all very beautiful to say, but seriously, what is that story? If you've been paying attention, we still have a pretty big elephant in the room, i.e. a dead kid who somehow grows up to become an immortal purple skin suit for robot spaghetti. Oh, and if the game wasn't complicated enough, Michael...
I'm sorry, genuinely, I know it seems like I'm not paying attention, but genuinely, for the last 7.5 minutes, it's just a whole lot of 7.5 minutes of saying nothing. Oh, not even a half. It's like 7, almost 8 minutes. It's a whole lot of words to say absolutely fucking nothing, Matt.
Might not even be his real name. The spirit in the logbook repeatedly asks him, what do you remember? And even more importantly, do you remember your name? It's even hidden in the frickin' word search. And I haven't even mentioned the other elephants in the room, like how very clearly the gravestones relate to the kids in the animatronic suits, and yet 2 of those names directly tie back to the security guards from FNAF 2. And if you want to go really, really deep, like you know I love to do, you see Susie's font on her gravestone? Did you know it's the same font that's used to introduce each night of FNAF 4? That's something that no one else online has noticed, and if fonts are important, which remember, they probably are, Scott doesn't do coincidences, so 4 great...
Alright, here's your swallow noises. Honestly, that's the thing really about theorists, is the fact that they're so hungry to jump to conclusions. They will pull anything out of their ass. They're just theoreticals. Theoreticals, dude. Derogatory.
Gravestones with completely different fonts is probably important in some way. Notice how 2 of the gravestones share the same font, but it's not Jeremy and Fritz, which you would probably expect since they're the 2 who are mentioned in FNAF 2. There are so many freaking elephants in this room. It is a very crowded room. Remember what I said earlier about repeated kicks to the crotch? This is what I'm talking about.
Who is... I gotta give it to all their editors. Like, this entire bit with, like, using and just changing his eyes in a fucking MS Paint thing. It's pretty good. I like that. Good morning, Avarice.
That said, after months of thinking about this and more kicks to the crotch than I care to mention, I think I do have an idea of what might be going on here. And it all begins in probably the most confusing place of all, Midnight Motorist from FNAF 6. When I first spoke about this minigame, I said that the mustard man here was William Afton, but I could tell that a lot of you weren't too convinced in my conclusion. And I'll be honest, I wasn't 100% sure of it either, but it was the best I could do at the time.
The orange guy is Dave from Silver Eyes? Alright, this is why I can't take theorists seriously. Alright? As it's like not, this isn't even close. This is my favorite thing in the world. Did you guys know I'm actually a Michelin star chef? Michelin star chef. Don't forget to tweet out how delicious my meal was today, you guys.
But now I am 100% confident that that is who we're seeing here. You see, FNAF 6 is simultaneously the end of
William,
the story, as
but
well
like
as the
Silver
beginning.
Eyes
It's
is
the
a
end
whole
because,
other
well,
thing that you
everyone
can
burns
just
to
put
death.
together.
And it's the beginning
it's not the
because
full
it's the origin
story, yeah?
of the puppet. And as we know, everything
Not like the exact
begins
story.
with the puppet. She's the one that allows all the other animatronics to become possessed, as we see in FNAF 2, which makes the security puppet minigame pretty much the earliest event we ever see in any of these games. And we also know that it's William who killed Charlotte in that back alley. This is the origin story of the purple guy, complete with his purple car that we saw in FNAF 2 after all. But here's the detail I was missing before. If you brighten up the final screen of the security puppet minigame, you'll see tire tracks left by the purple car driving
Oh
away from
my
his crime.
God.
This leads directly to the events of Midnight Motorist, which happens immediately after his murder. Here's how we know this for sure. Not only are you driving a purple car, and not only is it raining in both of the minigames, so they're connected on both those fronts, but get this. Reddit user GB Aura found that this section of the game in the source files is titled Later That Night.
Oh, wait, that's pretty good. That's a pretty good one.
That orange guy is William Afton.
Right,
He
that's
Charlotte
fucking
in the
fair.
rain
Yeah.
outside of Fredbear's, drives away, and winds up back home later that night. Boom! Proven, locked and loaded. And looking at this minigame, knowing
Yeah, it's so funny because I know that this, like, it's just enough already to figure all this shit out and, like, be able to actually get to this point. But I want to know, I guess, like, at this point, I can only figure out if maybe I read the books because they don't obviously tell the exact same story, right? It's just the characters are generally the same and some shit like that. Like, why does he kill that kid? Why?
what we know now
That's
about
what I'm
Michael being the
interested in.
crying child, we know that the couch potato here is his older brother. Mr. Foxy Mask let me shove my brother into an animatronic mouth and get him killed, speaking in his signature gray text, who apparently no longer has a name, which leaves Michael as the one who escaped to that place again. That is
For
who
fun,
William is
he's
mad
just a
at,
bad
with that
person?
place being obviously none other
I hate
than
that.
Freddy's. And from there, a lot of pieces start to fit together.
Yeah,
William's
it's definitely
frustration with
possibly
Michael
true, but
escaping
he's just a bad
explains why we
person.
see
I
him
mean,
have
I know he's a
surveillance
bad
cameras
person, but,
all
like,
over his house and sister location.
sucks,
It's not
you know?
an experiment or
'Cause
anything.
it's Henry's
he is literally
daughter.
keeping tabs on the boy who keeps running away.
Oh, right. Wasn't somebody else's theory? Like, there was somebody else's theory that we watched before in which Henry, I think, decided that he didn't want to be part of it anymore. And then I don't know why William killed
It
Henry's
also
daughter,
explains
though.
why we see Michael, the crying child, locked in his room
I
throughout
see.
FNAF 4. William himself says at the end of Midnight Motorist that Michael will be sorry when he gets back. And he is, as William constantly locks him in his room, making him unable to escape anymore. All of this might even explain the rationale for the nightmare animatronics. William built them, or else used his mind-altering sound disc that first appeared in the book and that we talked about in a previous theory, to scare Michael so that he would stop wanting to go to the restaurant in the first place. That's why he's
Sorry, I gotta prepare my, what was my alarm clock sound real quick. Perfect. Loop it.
so
Perfect.
scared of the place when we see him in FNAF
Yes,
4.
my cop-out alarm.
I'm literally in the recording closet right now recording this, and suddenly things started to fit together in a weird way. I'm just gonna throw this in here right as it happened in my mind. I'll need to look into this later, probably a future theory, but let's just bring it up now. Orange guy is William, right? But he's turned away at the front door of Junior's, which is completely random, and everyone's like, why is this in the minigame? Well, could it be because of the investigation into the missing children's incident? Remember what
What
Phone Guy
does
said
that
from
have to
FNAF
do
2?
with juniors?
Understand the building is on lockdown and no one is allowed in or out, especially concerning any previous employees.
Afton is rejected at the front door of the building because of the lockdown.
Ah,
and because he's a
okay,
previous
all
employee.
right.
It makes the timeline a bit messy, and I'll have to go back and rework it, but something
Thank you for
about this
lurking,
feels
Dad.
right.
Thank
William
you.
Afton was fired from his job, goes back to Junior's, but the building is under investigation because of the missing children's incident. William, being a former employee, is turned away at the door. He's not allowed in. It's not a bar. It's nothing like that. It's
Damn.
Freddy Fazbear's Jr. or something, the second location, the FNAF 2
No, I
location.
don't-
Anyway, I just wanted to throw
okay,
that in there because
alrighty.
it just occurred to me as I was writing this thing. I haven't had time to fully flesh it out or work it into the script, but I thought it was important enough to include, break the flow of things. Regardless, it gives us something else to chew on. Now back to the actual episode as I wrote it. Okay, I continue to avoid the obvious question here. Michael's death and apparent rebirth. If I'm being honest, it's because I don't really have a fully fleshed
Doki
out
says it is?
explanation for
Okay.
it. It's less
But, like, when you say, remember here, okay? When you guys say it is, you're going to have to let me know that specifically some of the devs or Scott or something put out stuff that says it is. Oh, y'all just accept it. Oh, so some theories are just acceptable even though it's still a theory. Perfect.
of a theory and more of a hypothesis, really. So would you be so kind as to Freddy Fazbear?
All theories. Okay. All right. Just theories create hypothesis, right? But it's not like you had to say that it was a hypothesis. We could tell that all of these are hypotheses because none of them, like majority of them, aren't actually proven to be true whatsoever, Matt. Okay, just remember, you're pulling bullshit out of your fucking ass.
With me.
Some things never get confirmed. See, okay, if it's not a confirm, it's still a theory. Just a reminder. If it's not confirmed, it's still a theory.
Here. We know
okay,
that Michael
Doki. It's just part of my
special,
bit here.
right? I mean, we see him
what's
get
up,
scooped,
Shinobi?
become a pile of rotten flesh, and yet he is still able to survive. In short, when
why
we
do you
see him
hate
in
Matt
sister
Pat?
location, he's
As
not...
I mentioned before, I genuinely don't hate Matt Pat. Really, it's not like I don't hate Matt Pat. I genuinely respect him and think this is all very good. I'm just, telling the truth. Theories are a theory. You know what I mean? This is what it is whenever I watch any kind of thing. Just a reminder, you guys, like, this is me, Lilybell, okay? I overreact to fucking everything. I'm the one who sat here and watched Christian for, like, 70-something episodes, all right? Christian could fucking toot, and I'll just be like, what the fuck, Christian? Oh my god, okay? Don't worry about it. You're not in any trouble. Matt's not in any trouble. Nobody's in any trouble. I'm just overreacting because I'm Lilybell, the drama queen. I'm a fucking actress. All I think about is acting.
Altogether human. Now, hold on to that idea for a second for me. While we're on the topic of sister location, let's look at the immortal and the restless.
I
super
genuinely,
random soap opera.
like I said, I genuinely have like full respect and am enjoying Matt Pat. I know Matt Pat's a great person. Like when I say Matt, stop pulling this shit out of your ass, it's not a personal attack. It's literally just like, theorists will do theorist things, right?
Opera from the game with a name that, now that I say it aloud in context, actually starts to make a little bit more sense.
We don't have more Christian documentaries,
Vlad,
Galileo. I think you missed it. I watched it last
week.
week.
Every episode saying,
Clara, I tell you, the baby isn't mine.
And in FNAF, we have William
Wait,
Afton,
what are we?
Vlad,
Hold on.
Now, hold on. In short, when we see him in Sisma happening here, we know
Sorry,
that
hold
Michael
on. I'm
Afton
missing
is
this
special,
part.
right? I mean, we see him get scooped, become a pile of rotten flesh, and yet he is still able to survive. In short, when we see him in sister location, he's not altogether human. Now, hold on to that idea for a second for me. While we're on the topic of sister location, let's look at the immortal and the restless. The super random soap opera from the game with a name that, now that I say it aloud in context, actually starts to make a little bit more sense. It stars Vlad, an immortal vampire who's dressed in purple who starts every episode saying,
Clara, I tell you, the baby isn't mine.
And in FNAF, we have William Afton, a man who's apparently immortal enough to survive a spring lock failure, who, like a vampire, sucks the remnant out of children and who knows, maybe survives on it. And
did he say that was William or did he say that was
purple.
Michael?
It's actually a lot of similarities. So could the repeated lines of,
Not my baby. The baby isn't mine. The baby isn't mine.
actually relate to William's relationship with Michael? What if Michael isn't actually William's son? It seems like it would be a logical leap, but we know for a fact that Michael's real name isn't Michael. Remember what the logbook said. Do you remember your name? Well, of course he does, logbook. He wrote it on the front cover, Mike, unless, of course, that's not his real name. So you got all those details.
Does anybody actually have this book? I feel like it genuinely would be fun just to have and like do activities with. Which sounds ridiculous because all of these activities are really not activities. Like I fully expect to go through half of these activities only to be like, oh, this is an impossible puzzle to do. Right? You don't. Yes, but I don't. Wait, yes, what? That you have the book or? There's a few activity books. Okay. Alrighty. That said, it's not impossible. I just don't feel like this theory matters very much. Unless I don't know how integral it is to say, well, like Michael and William aren't actually related, especially since both of them are immortal-like, right? That said, it is kind of sketchy though. Like the TV show always starts out saying, it's not my child. Like, I don't know. I feel like that would be something that Scott keeps in mind, right?
Good, because here's where all this random observation comes together. In the novels, one of the big overarching storylines is that the main character, Charlotte, had a twin who was kidnapped by Springtrap when she was younger. At the end
What?
of the second book, it's revealed that the twin wasn't actually kidnapped, it was her. Which seems to imply that
What?
Charlotte and her twin were one and the same, or were
Yo, what is this plot twist in this book? The fuck? What? That's fucking crazy. That's fucking crazy. All right, just to let you guys know, we are at number 19 out of 57 that we have prepared. But that's crazy. That's crazy as hell.
At the end of the second book, it's revealed that the twin wasn't actually kidnapped, it was her. Which seems to imply
That sounds
that
like some
Charlotte
Black
and her
Mirror
twin
shit,
were
bro.
one and the same, or were somehow interchangeable. Then, in the final pages, Charlotte dies from a springlock failure, only to miraculously come back to life unscathed in the next few days as if nothing had ever happened. There are also a lot of clues sprinkled
the
throughout the book
fuck?
that William Afton has the ability to create hyper-realistic humanoid robots. I even mentioned that briefly during a past FNAF theory. I haven't even gotten to how I think the main character of the book series is probably a robot, but again, those are all theories for other days. Long story short, everything
Look, I read
seems to point
Homestuck.
to
The
Charlotte
story
in the
ain't
books
that.
being an
Yeah,
AI.
no.
Maybe at one point
if you
she was
read
a person,
Homestuck,
but she
I can see you in a
died
completely
or was
different light
kidnapped at
already.
an early age, and
be
ever
honest.
since her personality
Hi,
has been
Sinra.
programmed
Nice to
into
see
a
you,
computer
sweetheart.
where
I'm
she's
doing
now
good,
able to be
thank
replicated
you.
over and over again into a super advanced robot
How are
that's
you?
somehow now able to grow and develop. I didn't write the books, okay? Now, obviously, the two are vastly different canons, but the games and books do relate in a lot of ways. And we know in the games from William's daughter Elizabeth that full-on personalities of individuals can get programmed into AI. Elizabeth goes on to possess the spirit of baby. So what if Michael is just one of those? Sure, he was killed in the bite of 83, but when William promised to put him back together, it meant literally put him back together. Find a way to piece him back together using some combination of robotics expertise and miracle soul juice remnant. That's how Michael dies in FNAF 4, but somehow comes back to life in later games. It's how he's able to get scooped, get a bunch of robot spaghetti shoved into him, and then still survive when the robot spaghetti gets puked out of him.
Okay, actually, that's pretty fair. It's pretty fair that he imagines that this could all be Michael just dying and living, dying, living, dying, living, because they've had William do that for like 9 seasons.
It's why he would no longer be able to remember his original name. And after he realizes the truth about what he actually is, that he's no longer human, he decides to end it all in the inferno of FNAF 6, after having done his best to set the souls of his former friends free. Whew, boy, that is a lot. And between all these reveals and last week's code, there is a ton for us
What?
theorists to start chewing on. But now...
Last week's code, where was he like revealing codes all over? Wait, what is this code thing that he's doing?
You get an idea of why
From
I've
the
been beating
activity
myself up
book?
for months trying to put this whole thing together. It upends mostly everything that we thought we knew about the franchise. Sure, it answers some of our questions like Midnight Motorist and a bit more about FNAF 4, but it opens the door to a lot of new avenues to explore. Anyway, the final book in the FNAF trilogy, The Fourth Closet, is coming out soon. I know a bunch of it leaked online already, but I'm trying to stay blind to it so as not to spoil anything in my theories. And even more exciting, Scott is releasing Ultimate Custom Night soon, so between those two, I am certain that there'll be more clues on the way helping us to come to a final conclusion to all of this.
We put you back together, then take you apart all over again.
So until then, remember, it's all just a theory.
A game theory!
With some game hypothesis thrown in there for good measure.
I'm sorry, who did
Till
this?
then, remember,
did this?
it's all
Who did
just
this? Who did this? Who
a
did this?
theory.
Who did this? Which one of you bitches did this? Look at this! I hate that it's actually kind of funny and cute.
A game!
Okay, moving on. What the fuck?
Dear Diary, yesterday was so amazing.
What the fuck?
amazing. I met such a wonderful guy, and I know just how to get him. He'll be mine by the end of the day.
What is happening?
I just know it. I'll tell him that I've solved the lore of his games and constructed a timeline. And once he's there, I'll have him.
Oh my
and once
God.
I have him,
Oh my God.
he'll be
Is that
mine
supposed to be
forever.
Scott?
There's only one thing that could possibly go wrong. How can Mangle be walking around in FNAF 2 before all the animatronics are possessed? How can Springtrap be experimenting with Remnant when he's sealed in a wall? Answer me! I don't know. That's exactly what I worried might go wrong. No!
Not the bad!
Hell!
I'm sorry. That was the best intro that we've had. This is the best. That's the best fucking intro. That was so good, Matt. Matt, genuinely, that's fucking funny. I'm gonna steal that shit, bro.
Hello, Internet.
Oh my God,
Welcome
so
to
good.
Game Theory, getting burned by hippos since 2018.
Not every story has to have significance, you know? Sometimes, sometimes a story is just a story. You
I love this thing.
try to read into
love
every
this thing
little
so
thing
much.
and find meaning in everything anyone says. You'll just
I'm sorry, but one of the Lilybell arts has to be this fucking. I always forget. I always think like, oh, I want to make this like an art thing, this like funny like yearbook picture thing, and I just keep forgetting. Hold on. There we go.
drive yourself crazy.
Kinda harsh there, Scott. Speaking of stories, last FNAF Theory, I was at the lowest of lows. The survival logbook threw a lot of weird curveballs into the lore that I don't think anyone was really expecting. Reveals like Michael Afton being the bite victim were interesting, but also really difficult to explain away. And that's where things sat
That's 'cause it's
until
not
now.
true, bro,
With both the
right?
release of the final FNAF book, The Fourth Closet, and what seems to be the final FNAF game, Super FNAF Brothers Ultimate. They're all here. And now with both these releases, we're finally in a position.
Sorry, that said, isn't there supposed to be a new custom night coming out? What's a custom night also? Oh no? I swear to God, I thought that there was like a tweet for a custom night.
Position to see all the puzzle pieces we're working with,
choose
which
your
means
own difficulty.
one last
I see.
examination of the franchise from top to bottom, starting with custom night this week, and then next week stepping back and looking across the
It's
entire
DLC.
timeline.
Oh,
to see
so
if we can wrap
DLC for
things up in a
security
neat
breach is actually a
blood-soaked
thing.
bow now that we can see all the events and key players. So step through the curtain, Funtime Foxy, because the show's about to start. It's time for me to pull a Candy Cadet and tell you a story. A story of anger that never dies. A story of never-ending suffering. And I'm not just talking about me trying to write these theories. Today, I tell you the story of how Ultimate Custom Night ends the FNAF franchise in the same place where it all began.
Surprise. It didn't.
As soon as you start playing Custom Night, you can tell that Scott's up to his usual tricks. Yeah, that. But beyond being gaming's biggest troll, I mean, Scott has clearly taken a game that most of us assumed was just a fun little add-on to capstone the series and has
At this point, I feel like every single time Matt says this is the last game, right? It's Matt hoping it's the last game. And it's Scott going, nah, fam. I think not.
used it to deliver a full-on 100% canon
Ultimate
addition to the
Custom Night is
franchise,
free?
complete with
Damn,
huge lore
that's
reveals
crazy.
mostly hidden in character dialogue once you die, which is pretty nice considering you die
That's
a lot.
yeah,
in this
an
game.
interesting
A
thing for
lot.
someone else. Balloon Boy!
Yeah, I totally
Balloon Boy
let
has
Night Marion
fangs
kill me
now!
at 3 a.m. on purpose. I just really wanted to see what she would say in this case. What, you guys don't believe me? Really?
Wait.
Oh, but. Oh, yeah, I totally let Night Marion kill me at 3 a.m. on purpose. I just really wanted to see what she would say in this case. What, you guys don't believe me?
What did he call that thing? Night what? Night Marion? Who's Marion? Is that the name that you guys gave the puppet? Oh, Night Marionette. Oh, I see. Okay. Marionette. That's a nice name.
Seriously, I'm good at this game. I did it for the lore. Through these death lines, we can immediately start piecing together what exactly is going on here. The first set of lines reveals that we're powerless to escape.
You and I will be making music together for a long, long time. This is a nightmare that you won't wake from.
Seeing you powerless is like music to me.
Bro! Hey, yo! It makes me feel like I'm walking through a fucking Halloween Horror Night maze, bro.
More voice lines indicate that not only are we trapped here for all eternity, we also can't die. Or maybe more accurately, we can die just over and over and over again.
What a gift to relish, a victim that can't perish. Let's taste death again and again and again.
Oh my god!
Tired of dying, will you?
Who is that? Why does she look like that? Why does she sound like that? Who is that? This is not normal Chica, bro. This is Toy Chica? Why does she have a beak? Toy Chica shouldn't have a beak. Her voice is wrong.
By the way, for those of you who don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of every element of this franchise, that Toy Chica line is actually a fun little callback to one of my favorite moments in the franchise. Foxy Fighters, update 1.2 for FNAF World.
You won't get tired of my voice, will you?
So anyway, our character here is kinda screwed, trapped for eternity in a never-ending cycle of torment and death. It should be pretty obvious what's going on here, but I think Jacko Chica really sums up the situation best.
Holy shit.
That's right.
Oh my god!
We're trapped in heck. H-E double hockey sticks. Or toothpicks like my family always said, since we valued proper capitalization. And from there, it's just a hop, skip, and a karmic jump away from who we're playing as. None other than...
I'm sorry, this bit right here where Matt's like, because we valued proper capitalization. Matt, you sound like a fucking... You sound like you came from that kind of family. You know what I mean?
And from there,
I'm
it's just
kidding.
a hop, skip, and a karmic jump away from who we're playing as. None other than Springtrap himself, William Afton. Not only does a one-way ticket to hell follow up on the advice Henry gave us from FNAF 6,
although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to
Yeah!
throw you forth. So don't keep the devil waiting, old friend.
but more voice lines in Custom Night confirm our relationship to each of these characters.
I'm sorry, but Henry's voice there is just so sick. It's honestly, he's just a great voice for Henry, I feel like. It's so dramatic and old manny, and also, I don't know, it's just good.
Who our friends are, and you are not one of them.
This is a callback to FNAF 4's We're Still Your Friends, Do You Still Believe That? But twisted on its head. If our character were someone like, say, Michael Afton, aka the Crying Child,
You know what?
AKA
That
another
sounds about
character who
right,
can't die.
dude. All these things that he's saying, like, yeah, dude, it obviously sounds like this dude, like, these fucking bitches hate us, and I couldn't imagine anybody except William.
Well, then Fredbear wouldn't single us out as not his friend. He's not an enemy to Michael because Michael never did anything to hurt him.
I am the fearful reflection of what you have created.
William Afton killed Henry's daughter, who goes on to become the puppet. Night Marion here is the dark reflection of the puppet, thereby confirming that we're playing as William Afton. Even Ballora offers some clues
But
that
Lily,
we're playing
it's
as
a
William.
theory? Oh, then probably it's not right. Yeah, it's probably not right. But if it was right, it makes sense. It would make sense if it was right. But, I mean, every theory is personally wrong until proven. It's just like everyone's innocent until proven guilty, right?
You wanted to let me in.
Ballora's song.
I'm sorry, Ballora, but that sounds like you trying to peg
And sister location was all about William hiding behind walls in the aftermath of his child's death, which left an empty room and an empty tomb in his life.
All I see is an empty room. No more joy, an empty tomb.
Oh my god,
He
honestly,
shut
that
everyone
gives
else
me the
out,
creeps.
but now that we're in William's personal hell, she's able to call him out for all his hidden feelings. William wanted to let the woman that Ballora represents in, but he just couldn't do it thanks to his grief, hence her calling him out for his real desires. You wanted to let me in. So we're a murderer trapped in a personal hell of our own creation, forced to deal with the sins of our past for all eternity. Sound familiar? It should. It was my first ever FNAF theory. No joke.
What?
Way back in episode 1 of the FNAF series, I predicted it was a game about someone trapped in purgatory, tormented by their crimes for all eternity. Granted, the series had only just begun and the theory tied everything back to a real-life string of murders, but it's actually really awesome to think that we've come full circle. That, from a theory standpoint at least,
You know what? I think he's right. I think I do remember him at some point saying something about just us continually suffering. As an audience member, obviously.
these videos have circled back around to where it all
thanks,
began.
Sindra.
It's
Yeah,
Flip,
you're totally
a
allowed to do
beautiful,
that. Thank
horrific,
you for letting me know.
child-murdery bookend of a story. So thanks, Scott. I have no doubt that you structured your franchise
Make sure that it's morally okay.
franchise's final send-off that way just so I could have an I told you so moment at the very
What will
end
get
after
Matt Pat off
years
my
of getting
back?
thwarted by your twisting story. It's very nice of you to throw me a bone. Might as well call me Mangle. More on that next week. But of course, it wouldn't be FNAF if things were just that simple. No, it's not good enough for William to be held in a perpetual state of agony. There's something keeping us here. Looking through all the voice lines, there's one other entity that's mentioned over and over again. The one you should not have killed.
I am remade, but not by you, by the one you should not have killed. Greetings from the fire, and from the one you should not have killed.
Excuse me, what?
Damn.
The one I shouldn't have killed, you mean
Wait, now I'm thinking like, who made the nightmares, bro?
Voldemort? Oh, sorry. Got him confused.
I won't be
with he
too much
must
of a
not be named.
degenerate.
But seriously,
I don't care about the not safe for work part, but I mean, like, you know, there's some rules. Besides, just make it, you know, yeah, make it Lily Bell safe.
the one I shouldn't have killed in a franchise piled
That
high
sounds
with
about
underage
right,
bodies.
honestly,
Okay,
13.
yeah,
I feel
sure,
like that's
all
how it
those other
actually was
kids,
supposed to
nah,
be.
They deserved it, but
Which is
that
fine.
one, that
I
one
think
right
that's fun,
there,
too.
yep, shouldn't have touched him. Now you're damned for all eternity. Sucks to be you. Anyway, this is the big mystery of the game. Who are they talking about? Well, by picking apart clues from all sorts of different locations, we can start piecing together who this one
All right, if we're simply just thinking about the fact that Nightmare Freddy said that they were made by the one you should not have killed, then it's probably Crying Child, right? That's what I'm just, that's what I'm guessing. That's what I'm guessing. Also,
hold on. Frogger Grogger is now warning. Welcome to Label Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight.
I thought it was Roger, like Roger.
who must stay vague for lore purposes actually is. First, from the rest of the voice lines, we can identify that this character is a male.
I have seen him, the one you shouldn't have killed. He's here and always watching, the one you shouldn't have killed.
Notice how both of them use
these are both so, like, all the voice acting in this one is so good. It's so terrifying and it's so creepy.
the pronouns he and him. We also know that this guy specifically has a vendetta against us. To understand that, we have to turn our attention to the true stars of Ultimate Custom Night, the Mediocre Melodies.
Yeah!
Without question, this
Mediocre
crew of
Melodies!
gut-crawling rejects steal the spotlight in Ultimate Custom Night. Going from WTF are these guys doing here in FNAF 6 to breakout meme stars in Custom Night, Orville Elephant and the gang not only provide important life lessons,
He proceeded to pour me a glass of just ice-cold lemonade. Ooh, you ever mix it with iced tea? You do like a little half lemonade, half
What
orange
is this?
juice. You should
Where
try it
is
someday.
this
You
from?
can't
What is
beat that.
this?
they also deliver
What is that? What the fuck?
Half lemonade, half. Ooh, it's so. You should try it.
This is his dad.
Well, you can't because you're dead.
They also
What
deliver
the
on
fuck?
huge
Wait, hold on. Hold on. This is crazy. You're telling me what's his name? What's his name? Mr. Hippo? Dude, I'm sorry, but this is so funny. What the fuck? What the fuck?
My friend, you have met a terrible, terrible demise. But, I don't feel too bad about it. After all, if it weren't from me, it would have just been from someone else, you know? I guess what I'm trying to say is life goes on. Well, for everyone else, life goes on, not for you. You're dead. But that's neither here nor there. It reminds me of one summer day in the park. I was having just a delightful picnic with my good friend Orville. And I said to him, Orville, I have a story. And he said to me, what's the significance of the story? And I said to him, Orville, not every story has to have significance, you know? Sometimes...
I feel like that was personal. I feel like Scott specifically did that because that shit was personal. He was like, not everything has to have a significance, you know, Matt?
Sometimes a story is just a story. If you try to read into every little thing and find meaning in everything anyone says, you'll just...
He's talking to you fucking theorists! Maybe it's just a green light on the other side of the fucking river.
Drive yourself crazy. Had a friend do it once. Wasn't pretty. We talked about it for years.
This
and not only that,
is there?
You'll likely end up believing something you shouldn't
came through
believe,
too?
thinking something you shouldn't think, or assuming something you shouldn't assume, you know? Sometimes, I said, a story is just a story. So just be quiet for 1 second of your life and eat your sandwich, okay? Of course, it was only then I realized I'd made sandwiches, and poor Orville was having such difficulty eating it. Elephants have those clumsy hands, you know? Actually, I suppose that's the problem. They don't have hands at all, do they? They're all feet. I couldn't imagine someone asking me to eat a sandwich with my feet.
Mr. Hippo,
Now,
you
if
technically
I recall
don't have
correctly,
hands
there
either,
was a
bro. What the
bakery
fuck are you
nearby.
saying?
I said to him, Orville, let me go get you some rye bread. Now, I'm unsure if elephants enjoy rye bread, but I assure you that Orville does. Now, this was on a Tuesday, which was good because rye bread was always fresh on Tuesday. They made sourdough bread on Monday and threw it out
I feel like
Wednesday.
I'm losing my mind.
Or rather, they sold it at a discount
disassociating.
for people wanting to feed the ducks.
I'm disassociating.
Probably
I'm
at the end of the
disassociating.
day,
I'm disassociating. I'm
finally, they threw it all out.
disassociating.
I don't recall. I do remember a man who would bring his son to the bakery every Wednesday and then go feed the ducks. He would buy all of the sourdough bread. Of course, you're not supposed to feed the ducks sourdough bread at all. It swells up in their stomach and then they all die. At least that's what I've heard. I never saw any ducks die myself, but I did notice a substantial decrease in the duck population over the course of a few years. I just never thought to stop the man and tell him that he was killing the ducks by feeding them sourdough bread. And if you want my opinion on the matter, and I told Orville this as well, if you want to feed ducks, or birds, or any kind for that matter, it's best to buy seed. I mean, when you think about it, breads of any sort don't occur in nature. They don't grow on trees or spring up from the bushes. I don't think birds know what to do with bread. What was I saying? Oh, yes. So I bought Orville some rye bread. What a fine day it was.
I genuinely feel like this is what you guys listen to whenever I tell my stories, and then I get distracted by something, and then I go, oh, right. Anyways, I'm doing my Funathon day 14. This is amazing. Dude, this is so, okay. This is my favorite thing of this entire, my third favorite thing of this entire game. That's amazing.
Well, it seems that your journey has ended. Very sorry about that. It was was always going to end this way, of course. If it weren't...
No, we're not doing all three. The voice, by the way, whoever the voice actor is, can you just be my grandpa? Could you, like, I just want this voice to be my grandpa. Can I call this person and just ask them to tell me a story about their day? Like, I feel like it's actually comforting.
Lore reveals.
That's
For the most part, their
amazing.
lines are pretty disposable.
That's amazing.
But very rarely
I'm
you'll
sorry.
get a line.
I'm still like, this is genuinely amazing. That was genuinely amazing. That is like, I need the opposite of a cop-out alarm. You know what I mean? Like, this is a perfect alarm. And that was a perfect.
From them that feels just a bit out of character.
We've only just begun. I
Go,
will
go,
never
go.
let you leave. I will never let you rest.
Dude, you're not even part of this story.
Ninja skills.
And if you listen
What?
closely,
What?
Rest. With you. Ninja skills.
And if
What the fuck? With you. Ninja skills.
If you listen closely, you'll hear a female voice echoing back what they're saying, almost as if they're puppets under someone else's control.
This is how it feels, and you get to experience it over
Hi,
and
Sadie!
over and over again, forever. I will never let you leave.
Oh my god. Okay, actually.
Now, this voice
Ah!
could be
Actually,
Baby. Not
no.
only does she sound similar,
I guess you forgot about me.
Oh,
but a
yeah,
clue
sounds
may
just
also
like her.
come from the merch. The Funko action figurines of the characters from FNAF 6 all contain one piece of scrap Baby. Collect all the figurines,
shit.
collect all the
Okay,
pieces
that's
to
pretty
form
sick.
character,
What the
which
fuck?
might seem like just a random detail until
Nah.
you consider that they did the same thing with every character in Sister Location, who would then go on to form Ennard. Each one contained a piece that helped to create what would eventually form the larger whole. Just like Ennard himself,
Damn.
a bunch of the other animatronics all rolled into one entity. This is especially important when you consider that a key reveal from the final FNAF novel, The Fourth Closet, is that William Afton created the living Sister Location Funtime animatronics by extracting remnant from the melted conglomeration of all the OG animatronics and injecting the new robots with it. Thus, all the new
The
robots
narrator
were
for
alive
Fruit
and sharing
Ninja?
a
There's a
piece of the
narrator
same
in that
set
game?
of
What the
souls.
fuck?
Just like if the pieces of Baby/Ennard had been repurposed to form Happy Frog and her friends. That's why Baby's voice would be heard across all of them. Does that make sense? Good. Now throw it away because there's another explanation here. That this
Yay!
is the voice.
That's so Matt of you, Matt. That's literally the most Matt Pat thing I have heard or seen out of all of his fucking bits. Does that make sense? Good. Now shut the fuck up and throw that shit away because I'm wrong.
Of the one you should not have killed. As you can tell at this point, Ultimate Custom Night had a huge amount of voice acting. And the nice thing about voice acting is that you need to hire, actors, which means job postings. So of course, for this game, Scott needed to make a ton of casting calls on the site voices.com. All
Me going onto voices.com. Just in case,
identifying the roles that the actors would be playing. Some of the roles were obvious. Nightmare Balloon Boy, Pig Patch, Withered Chica, etc., etc. All characters that we're familiar with. Other casting calls, though, were a bit more vague. Monster, Character in Whisper, Little Girl, Annoying Girl, Vengeful Spirit. Now, if you track
Me, the annoying girl. Yes.
all of the job postings, you can actually identify every single role by who
Oh,
plays them.
shit,
Monster
okay.
is Jacko Chica. Character in Whisper is Trash in the Gang. Little Girl is the puppet. Annoying Girl is Dee Dee. Scott kept them vague so as not to ruin any surprises. You can actually identify each and every role, except for one. Vengeful Spirit, played by Tabitha Skanes. It's the only one that doesn't match up to any explicit character in the game. But we know for a fact it exists, since Scott himself left Tabitha an excellent review. 5 stars! Well done, Tabitha. So what is the Vengeful Spirit? Well, according to the casting call, quote, "This is for the voice of a young child who speaks in a whisper from the shadows." That sounds a lot like the voice that's whispering in the background of our merry band of rejects. This child is in control and is toying with the player who's helpless to change their situation or prevent their inevitable end. Yeah, well, being trapped in HE double hockey sticks will do that to ya. The gender should not be immediately clear. It should work as either a young boy or a young girl. And you're welcome to do readings leaning one way or another. Ding, 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 ladies and gentlemen, we have our winner. A puppeteer that's manipulating things from the shadows. A spirit who's out for revenge. A spirit who just so happens to occasionally show its face during game over screens. Yes!
Wait, that's real? This is real? Are you serious? This is a face that pops up with the game? I thought he was just I genuinely thought it was some random kid and he just took somebody's fucking picture. Can you imagine being this person? Unless this is what Scott actually looked like, I couldn't imagine my friend calling me up like, "Hey, do you have like maybe like a childer looking picture? Can I just borrow this one?" Right? Yeah, I thought he pulled it out of his ass too, bro. That's crazy. That's fucking crazy. That's weird.
That creepy image of a face that's been haunting thumbnails of Ultimate Custom Night.
Like, can you or a stock photo? I couldn't imagine, literally, just walking through my day, and my mother's like, "Hey, you remember that photo of you that I put up as a stock photo? Or remember that one photo shoot you did for a random company selling antidepressants? Yeah, by the way,
That is the face of our vengeful spirit. A spirit who, based on its last line, has an axe to grind and intends to enact revenge by keeping us tormented for all eternity.
He tried to release you. He tried to release us. But I'm not gonna let that happen. I will hold you here. I will keep you here. No matter how many times they burn us.
Oh my God. Wait a minute. Sounds like Michael. Yeah, sounds like Michael is the other guy. This other him, right? But also, this is really interesting because I didn't expect this ragtag team of rejects. I can't remember. Sorry, I have no idea. I can't remember what their name is to actually say some shit like this. I thought they were all Mr. Hippo. It sounds like, oh, right. I totally forgot. I totally forgot Henry also tried to burn William. Forgot about that. Mediocre melodies.
He tried to release
Whoa,
you, but I'm not.
Times they burn us.
Yeah,
tried to release
dude,
you,
that
but I'm
kid,
not gonna let
scary.
that happen. I will hold you here. Yikes! Somebody's got to get themselves a new hobby. But this is an important line since by now many of you have probably seen the Old Man Consequences Easter egg. If you set the character Old Man Consequences to level 1 difficulty and then complete his minigame, you get taken.
What the fuck is Old Man Consequences? Some random monster that was added for this?
Through a glitch to Old Man Consequences Pond, a character from FNAF World who encourages the spirit to, quote, leave the demon
FNAF
to
World.
his demons. Rest your own soul. There's nothing else. He's encouraging the angry spirit to finally rest, to give it up, to move on, instead of just chasing down the demon, William Afton, and spending eternity enacting revenge. But that all leads to the question, who is this vengeful spirit?
Dude, that
the
is
one
terrifying
William should
looking,
not have
honestly.
killed? Well, it's Golden Freddy. For proof, look no further than the final cutscene of the game.
This is the final cutscene of the game? There's no fucking way. All right, if this is genuinely okay, if I thought this was the final cutscene of the game, and I was like, this is all a joke. This is all a joke. Everybody's just having fun. Everybody's pulling my fucking leg.
If you manage to get the nearly impossible score of
Why did he have
9,000...
to add? Why did he have to add that? Why did he have to actually add that though? Think about it this way, Matt. You hinting at something?
849 animatronics at full difficulty, you see Golden Freddy in his FNAF 1 form twitching.
I actually feel kind of bad for Golden Freddy.
He's twitching just like Springtrap did in the trailers to FNAF 3. Someone else who refused to give up, to pass on. Someone who always comes back. And just to dispel any confusion here, Golden Freddy isn't the crying child. This confirms it. Golden Freddy is actually a victim that we've never actually seen outside of the FNAF 3 minigames, nor will ever see outside.
Wait, why can't it not be the crying child? I can't remember why he made sure that we knew it wasn't the crying child.
side of that face in the vent. But more on that next video. That final timeline episode I got cooking
I
up.
believe
if you want
it.
to make sure that you see
I
it.
genuinely, is that weird? Like, if you guys, Crying Child is the puppet? This is a different Crying Child than, isn't Puppet the girl in the beginning? Yeah, right? And I feel like Crying Child is, okay, all right. Yeah, I thought Puppet was Henry's daughter, which is the girl that gets shot, like, by fucking drive-by, all right? And that Crying Child is one of the kids, one of the Afton kids, the unnamed one, right? And I thought also that that kid is Golden Freddy. Right? Yeah. That's what I'm thinking. Okay, great. And out of all of this, I hope that one of these tracks fucking works, apparently. That said, oh yeah, I totally fucking believe that Scott has seen some crazy shit like that, but I don't know how I would feel. Like, if you create, oh, I don't know. I guess, never mind. Never mind. See, I was gonna be like, if you did a bunch of, like, original characters or whatever, and they all got looted, but then I was like, wait a minute. All of your fucking original characters are made for looting. But I know a bunch of you fucking people literally created original character waifus so that you guys can fucking loot them. I know it.
Hit subscribe now, that way you don't miss it, because seriously, that is the one that wraps everything up. If there was ever a time to subscribe, now is that time. But anyway, Golden Freddy is the soul that's still trapped. One that refuses to let go of his hate, his rage. We even...
Honestly, Axel, we should do this. Like, for this, if you're gonna make a video for this, like, for these FNAF reactions or whatever, we have to do it exactly like Game Theorists. As a call out, you know what I mean? We're gonna write a script up, and this is how I thought that this was going to, this is my reaction to what I thought was going to be the next theory. Like, could you fucking imagine? That's too crazy. That's too fucking funny.
Hear it in his line. He tried to release us, but I'm not gonna let that happen, no matter how many times they burn us. In FNAF 3, the puppet tried to release everyone through the Happiest Day minigame. Fazbear Fright was burned down in an attempt to cleanse Freddy's. Pizzeria Simulator was burned to the ground. None of it has worked. The spirit of revenge is and always will be there until he chooses to let go. That's why he's still twitching as he fades into the darkness. That's why his eyes are still white as he disappears. He is choosing to remain here, to continue tormenting William, to ignore Old Man Consequences, encouraging him to move on to the next life. You know, this might be what Scott truly meant when he said that 50-20 mode in this game was impossible. Not just that it would be unbelievably...
Wait, what? What is this?
Dear
this is not actually an ultimate custom night, right? This is actually an ultimate custom night? Okay, now I know. Now I know Scott's just having a good time. Now I know Scott's just... This is just fucking funny.
Yes.
Does everybody else have, like, high school cutscenes? Anime Freddy and Foxy?
Today was so amazing, and I met such a wonderful guy. But I don't think it was meant to last. For my heart belongs to another. He's so amazing and strong and so cute. I've been thinking about him all day, and I think he's really into me too. He's the only one for me. I just know.
Okay, now we know exactly where MatPat came from, all right? Or, like, for the intro.
Wait. And I know just how to get him. Look at that top hat.
Yeah, I really thought...
amazing top hat.
No!
He'll be mine by the end of the day.
No! No! This is...
I just know it. I told him that I needed help with my homework, but once he's there...
Where would you even get these? Where would you get these?
There, I'll have him. And once I have him, he'll be mine forever. There is only one thing that could possibly go wrong.
Is this Yandere? This is a Yandere,
Dear
isn't
Diary, yes.
By hitting score milestones? Bro, what the fuck?
Yesterday was so amazing, and I met.
Okay, all right. Now I know all of you guys are on crack. Now I know for sure. Scott, Matt, everybody here is on crack.
Such a wonderful guy. But I don't think it was meant to last. For my heart belongs to another. He's so amazing and strong and so cute. I've been thinking about him all day. And I think he's really into me too. He's the only one for me. I just know it. And I know just how to get him. Look at that untamed fur. That amazing
Who the hell is
silky
that?
sheen.
Who is
He'll be
that?
mine by the end of the day. I just know it. I told him that someone ran over his dog in front of my house. But once he's there, I'll entice him with warm cookies, lure him inside. I mean, invite him inside.
No, I
And
saw
then
the
I'll
backpack.
have him.
I saw the backpack
And once I have him,
with the
he'll
hat.
be mine
No, I saw the
forever.
backpack with the hat.
There is only one thing.
I just
that
have
could
no
possibly
idea what the
go
fuck,
wrong.
who the fuck this is.
Look at those ears.
Amazing.
Those
Oh, that's great.
amazing
Oh,
ears.
God.
He'll be mine by the end of the day. I just know it. I told him that my house was on fire. But once he's there, I'll tell him that I threw myself on the flames to put them out.
Is this how Lily lures
He'll
in
be
men?
s-
That's a fucking joke, Spectre, because I don't need to lure you guys in like this. Apparently, the meaner I am to you, the more y'all are just sitting here. Yeah. Like, I don't need to bat my eyes and go, ew. Apparently, it works if I just go, shut the fuck up. Don't. Get out. And then you guys are like, ah, ha, ha, ha. Anyways.
So impressed that he'll fall for me immediately. And once I have him, he'll be mine forever. There is only one thing that could possibly go wrong.
It's okay. It's okay, you guys. I love my widow masochists. I love you guys. You know? Y'all are my bread and butter.
Look at those eyes.
What is that voice?
Possibly go wrong. Look at those eyes. Those amazing eyes. He'll be mine by the end of the day. I just know it. I told him that I've taken several live hostages at my house. But once he's there, I'll tell him that I let them go because
No, it's okay,
I love
Axel.
him.
We'll just finish watching
He'll
this one and then we'll
fall
go
for me
back.
immediately. And once I have him, he'll be mine forever. There is only
Foxy confirmed to be him?
one thing that could possibly go wrong. Look at those strings. Those long, beautiful strings.
What? Even
He'll be
poppin'?
mine by the end of the day. I just know it. I told him to come over later. That should be enough. And if he doesn't show up, I'll just go to his house. And if he doesn't open the door, I'll just find a window. Chimney's always an option. Or I could set the house on fire and wait for him to run out. Then he could run into my arms. There is only one thing that could possibly go wrong.
All the other ones didn't have music. What? Dude, she's going through the fucking roster. That's it? Hold on. Let's
Look
see her
at that.
backpack at the end. Dude, her backpack is so fucking hefty at the end. All right. That's pretty interesting. I did not realize that was an actual scene here. I really did not fucking know that it was a whole thing. That said, everybody in the FNAF, fans, okay? theorists, all right, creator, everything that has to do with FNAF. Yeah, now I know y'all are just having a good time. Y'all are on one. Half of y'all are drunk for sure. I include the theorists and Scott in with this one. Yeah, the fans are having a good time, but the theorists have to be drunk to continue doing all this. And Scott's just, I don't know, man. Whatever he's on, give me some of that.
Difficult to overcome, which, let's face it, it is, but that there's no victory here. That no matter how good of a player you are, there is no winning this game because there is no escape. That even if you play it perfectly, William is trapped, and there is no happy ending for Golden Freddy. In fact, you playing the game is continuing Golden Freddy's cycle of revenge.
Okay, well that sounds kind of sad, alright?
For Golden Freddy, absolutely, rest your soul. There is nothing else, but it's also probably directed at us. I mean, we play and play and play this game for hours upon hours upon hours, achieving higher and higher and higher stats in a game that's incredibly difficult, and what do we get from it? A cutscene that's kind of underwhelming, actually. Perhaps Old Man Consequence's message was for Golden Freddy, sure, but also for us. Rest.
That makes me feel like that one ending in Stanley Parable, right? Where the lady narrator takes over and she's like, can't you understand? The more you play, the more you're just stuck in this cycle. Like, just end it. Stop. Don't walk away. Don't play this.
Your own soul. There is nothing else. There is no deeper ending here. There is no satisfaction. This is it. And by choosing to play, we keep William's cycle of torment alive. We are literally Golden Freddy forcing William through this over and over and over again.
You know what? If maybe I shouldn't say that. Hold on. Maybe I was gonna say, if I had the chance to go see somebody who's a fucking child murderer, all right, I too would keep them there in purgatory forever.
Refusing to move on, refusing to accept that there is nothing else. It's perhaps the most satisfying, unsatisfying conclusion in all of gaming.
Or
and
at
as far
least,
as your
you know,
gameplay
for a
affecting
while.
character decisions, well, it doesn't get any more seamless than that. In the end, the truth is as plain as day. You are Golden Freddy. Next week, the great.
Damn. Okay, actually, that was a good spin. That, understandable. You have that? I'm Golden Freddy, bitch.
And conclusion as I break down literally everything else in this
That's
game
pretty good.
and all the other games and the books as we try to piece together one mega final timeline. I told Steph.
Boo! Boo! Stop saying final. Stop. I mean, I get it. You get the money for it, but stop saying it. God damn it. What the fuck? Dude, I had to check. I literally had to check to fucking make sure. What the fuck? That's weird. Anyways, if the player's Golden Freddy, when did we get killed? The minute we started the game. I'm checking. It's game theory. FNAF, the final timeline. It is.
Hi, I'm Masahiro Sakurai. Today, I'd like to introduce you to the new Super Smash Bros. Game
Oh,
for the
it's
Nintendo
a
Switch.
bit.
Many fighters have appeared in the series.
It's
I'm
a
sure
bit
you're all
as
eager to find out who will
hell.
be joining the roster
Smash
this time.
bit.
Please, take a look.
Oh my god. This is actually annoyingly funny.
Just stop.
This is actually annoyingly funny. Robbie Rock B? Oh my god, this is so loud. Why is this specific intro so loud? My god. Okay, before we get into it, I'm sorry, I need to use the bathroom. Be right back. Go pee. Go stand up. Go stretch. Drink water or something. Alrighty. Okay, I'm back. I hope you guys went to go get water or something. I feel like this intro is louder than the others. Why do I...
Hello,
What kind of
Internet.
pasta?
Welcome to Game Theory, the William Afton of YouTube.
I always come back.
So here's something crazy. You know how every FNAF game tends to have 5 main nights, a bonus 6th night that gets you more lore hints, and then a challenge mode 7th night where you customize all the animatronics?
Oh,
Well,
really?
Look at the games. We have 5 main games bearing the 5 nights title, a bonus 6th game that was mostly for lore, and now a 7th standalone release where you customize the animatronics. The
Oh,
game
that's
releases
actually kind of
directly mirror the
interesting, yeah.
gameplay. Either Scott is a mad genius or I'm thinking about things way too hard.
Yeah, you've definitely never ever thought into things way too hard before, buddy.
Try to read into every little thing and find meaning in everything anyone says, you'll just drive yourself crazy.
Yeah,
Heard you
Mr.
last time,
Hippo.
Mr. Hippo. But guess what? What, you Barney reject?
Honestly, Mr. Hippo is like fire. Mr. Hippo is fire as hell. Full respect, Mr. Hippo.
Reading into every little thing is the only way to have this series make any sort of sense whatsoever. Case in point, today's episode. With the final novel out and Ultimate Custom Night picked to shreds, it finally feels like the story of FNAF is at its end. Or at least the Afton storyline is at its end. The series will probably come back to tell another story in the same universe later. I mean, it's exactly what Scott did with FNAF 4, the quote-unquote final chapter, of the original FNAF story. I see what you did there, Scotty. It's the final chapter of the original story. But oh no, friends, he wasn't done. He even ended that teaser with a question mark if you brighten that screen up enough. Man, Scott, you really wanted to leave the door open for more games in this series, didn't ya? You were milking it more than I was. Or,
Yeah, for sure.
guess we're both milkmaids at the teat of Freddy Fazbear.
Yeah, this is a more accurate statement, Matt, because I'm not gonna lie, you know, Scott can only release so much. You have released way more. Everything
Anyways, they say
Scott
FNAF
has released, you have done, and twice.
world, the pieces are in place for us. So it's time to take one final step back and put every single one of
One final step back.
those pieces together into
We
this,
can
my
escape
final
soon,
timeline
guys!
for the
Woo!
final FNAF game. Though, let me save you some work. If you brighten the image you see on screen right now, you'll see that there's a question mark there, since, you know.
I always come back.
Oh, good
And
to
if
know.
he comes back, well, I gotta pull myself a Samurai Freddy and pursue the anime Fox of Truth wherever it may lead. Let's do this. Now, putting
Oh my
together a
God.
final timeline of events for this series is incredibly challenging and requires us covering a lot of really minute details from literally every element the series has ever released. This is my longest, most involved theory in 7 years, covering every square inch of the series. So fair warning that this episode—
Wait, so at this point, what do you mean 7 years of total? This is only like 3 or 4 years of Five Nights at Freddy's, right? Not 7 years total of Five Nights at Freddy's. Oh, 7 years of game theory. Okay. Honestly, I kind of want him to also do... This is a good, like, these final timelines and final theories are really good. I feel like to just not really be final, just be a good base of where we're starting from based off of what MatPat has already covered. You know what I mean? Because so much of it is like, I thought it was this. And then the next video is, it's not that. Surprise! You know what I'm saying? But I also want him to do like a character breakdown of what he thinks. Not just like the timeline, but a whole character one. Thank you, Fix Your Posture.
It is not for the faint of heart. It is extreme. A way for me to simultaneously flex my knowledge of the minutiae of this series, all while trying to come up with a satisfactory answer to pretty much every question it has ever thrown our way. And of course, there are some questions that don't have clean answers, which I'll be calling out for you as I go. So for those of you who want to take the challenge and attempt a timeline on your own, let me first explain my thought process. As I was writing this episode, there are 3 hard and fast rules that I applied. First, it's important to note that I put greater emphasis on information that was was released more recently in the series. While, yes, everything in the series is important, by FNAF 4 and even more so Sister Location, we can assume that Scott had a complete picture of the story in his mind.
Or at least
it's
a complete
easy to forget that FNAF
like
1 was gonna be
picture
Scott's
of what the
final
story
game after
is
years
now
of trying to be a
in his
game designer
mind.
and hitting dead ends. Do you really think that he imagined a lore so deep that it would cover 8 games, 5 books, and countless teasers? That he predicted his story would be so massively popular that it would involve undead purple people way back when we were all just making memes about Foxy Swiggity Swooty coming for that booty? Probably
What
not.
the
So
fuck?
it's safe to assume that the newest information
I
we're
hate
getting
that.
in the games is the most accurate in pointing to the final story he's looking to tell. So that's rule number 1. Rule number 2, adhering to key dates and events. Now, there isn't much that's certain in this story, which means that the things we do know must serve as fixed points that the other details fit around. We know for a fact from FNAF 1 phone calls that the animatronics are allowed to walk around freely until the bite of 87. We know from FNAF 3 calls that the golden springlock suits are eventually retired to a back room after a tragedy at a sister location, the FNAF 4 bite, which itself takes place in 1983. FNAF 3 also tells us that at some point William Afton tries to dismantle the robots, whose spirits rebel, causing him to become Springtrap, eventually getting himself sealed up behind a wall until the workers at Fazbear Fright discover his body and set him loose again. Details like those have to be our guideposts if we're having any hopes of getting anywhere in the story. And lastly, rule number 3, realizing that this isn't just a simple linear timeline. It's clearly established in the games that multiple Fazbear locations exist at the same time, and that the events in one affect what happens in other locations. For proof, just look at Phone Guy in FNAF 3.
Welcome to your new career as a performer/entertainer for Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Right now, we have 2 specially designed suits that double as both animatronic and suit. After learning of an unfortunate incident at the sister location involving multiple and simultaneous
you're so
springlock
cute.
failures, the company has deemed the suits temporarily unfit for employees.
This not only tells us that the first Freddy Fazbear's Pizza had 2 golden suits, but also that the first Freddy's was open at the same time as the FNAF 4 Freddy's. The springlock failure in the FNAF 4 location prompted the yellow suits to be retired in the FNAF 1 location. In short, a lot of these events overlap. Restaurants often stay open for years beyond what we see in the games, and everything weaves together in a way that's much more complicated than simply saying, this restaurant opened, kids died, it closed. The next one opened, kids died again, it closed. In all honesty, I suppose you could simplify it to that level, but we're not going to. I am holding myself to a higher standard.
Okay.
A slightly higher standard, but
Yeah.
a higher standard nonetheless. So with those 3 logical rules in place,
At least he's like pretty open with it. Yeah, I think all this I understand these rules pretty well.
let's get analyzing. To begin, we have to identify who William's first victim was. Now, I've covered FNAF a lot.
No
but in all my
shit,
theories,
Sherlock.
one thing
Jesus
has remained
fucking
consistent
Christ.
since FNAF 2, that the puppet was first, Henry's daughter. She is the character who gives life to all the other animatronics, so it would just make sense for her to be victim numero uno. But
Where did we figure out for sure that it was Henry's daughter again? Like, we know it's Henry's daughter, but where was that again? Henry said, yeah, during like what, Pizzeria Sim? Can anybody remind me what Henry said real quick? I totally know this is Henry's daughter, blah, blah, blah. I just want to be reminded where and what did Henry say? Like, was Henry like, you fucking killed my daughter? You know what I mean? Oh, in Pizza Sim?
outside of that, it's always been just an assumption. And now that we've seen the event actually take place in the games, I think I've been wrong about it this entire time. Think about it. We have proof that William kills Henry's daughter in FNAF 6, but as I talked about in a previous theory, we see that later that night, Afton goes to a place called Junior's where he's turned away at the door. Now, why would Scott show us this? FNAF 6 was all about tying up loose ends. He's not just gonna throw in a random bar to establish that the Mustard Man is an alcoholic or anything. He's doing it to establish
No,
timeline.
that's fine. I just wanted the bare gist of it.
Anyone being turned
thank
away
you,
from
Doki.
any building for any reason in this series is in FNAF 2.
From what I understand, the building is on lockdown. No one is allowed in or out, especially concerning any previous employees.
And the
Maybe-
name Juniors makes sense in Scott's classic way of giving us clues that are meant to clarify things, but really just end up confusing all of us. Remember, FNAF 2's location is the grand reopening, a second Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria location, a junior location, if you will. And lastly, to
Weenie Hut Super Weenie Hut Junior.
further solidify the puppet coming later in the timeline, remember why Freddy's closed in the first place. It wasn't due to murders or animatronics going haywire. According to the FNAF 1 newspapers, people just got weirded out by a place where kids disappeared. Quote, after a long struggle to stay in business after the tragedy that took place there many years ago, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza has announced that it'll close by year's end, end quote. This all means that the missing children's incident where 5 kids go missing at a Freddy Fazbear's Pizza must be the first event of the timeline. William Afton uses the Spring Bonnie suit to lure 5 kids to the back employees-only safe rooms that we hear about in FNAF 3, hiding their dead bodies in the animatronic suits. We can even figure out the order of who was killed when based on clues hidden in Ultimate Custom Night. We know with 100% certainty that Chica was first based on one of her death lines.
I was the first. I have seen everything.
That's about as explicit as you get with these games. From a storytelling standpoint, I hate that Chica's first because it really should have been Golden Freddy, so he could be the first spirit killed and the final spirit to haunt Afton in Custom Night, but whatever. Chica, aka Susie, is death number 1. She's lured.
Sorry, I'm just like trying to put my mind through it, right? Like that means that he just goes on this killing spree and it has nothing else to do with even further like anguish from his other kid dying, right? Thinking that's, you know what I'm saying? Cuz I felt like it was, okay, Henry's daughter, and then, you know, like, his kid got scared and then died, and then he went on this giant anguish, and he started killing other kids also, right? Oh, I see, BC. Okay, alrighty, thank you.
Away by Afton, telling her that her dog died. We see it in FNAF 6's Fruity Maze. We also read about it in the 4th closet. Quote, beside them was a little girl with blonde curls. I heard Daddy say he was hit by a car, but I knew it wasn't true. Bonnie told me it wasn't true. He said he found my puppy. And did he take you to your puppy? He took me, but I...
Beside them was the little girl with blonde curls. Okay. Who? Oh, the dog. I see, the dog.
I don't remember. My name's Susie. We even hear about it in the Chica anime cutscenes from Custom Night.
I told him that someone ran over his dog in front of my house.
Jeez, Scott, I know we were all looking for answers, but man, you beat that one over the head, didn't ya? Not that I'm complaining, but that one was a bit overly obvious, and then all the other ones are just so damn obscure. Just gotta find a better balance here, man. From there, we know that 4
dude,
other...
I love that he's very aware. Like, if I was Scott, I would also be sending some shit over. All right, so it's unclear. I just have to assume that it's not just Crying Child went first or Susie went first. It's just unclear.
Kids get taken and stuffed into suits. We know their names based on the gravestones at the end of FNAF 6. Gabriel, Fritz, Jeremy, and... Grass. Hey, who are we to judge what other people name their kids? Probably some celebrity's kid. Oh, you must meet my children. This is Apple, audio science, and Grass. All joking aside, though, loyal theorists will remember this last grave was giving me a lot of trouble during a past theory. You see, this book, the FNAF Survival Logbook, holds a ton of reveals about the franchise, but they're all hidden in code. Some I was able to deduce, some left me stumped. But a few hours after releasing my video covering the book, the mystery was solved by the brilliant deduction of game theorist subreddit user DPowerful1. DPowerful1 used the numbers that I had found, 52, 39, 15, 7, 2, 10, 11, 8, and 11, and put them not into an alphabet grid for ciphers like I'd been doing and like the book was clearly hinting towards, but instead put them into the word search, of all places, using the numbers as coordinates in the...
Yeah, actually, if you think about it though, buddy, okay, wouldn't it be too obvious? You were complaining about Chica being too obvious. You don't want to complain about that one being too obvious? This is why. This is why.
Word search, you could spell the name Cassidy, a name that must belong to Golden Freddy based on the repeated use of Golden Freddy's signature line of "It's me" throughout the book, the gravestone imagery which lines up with the 5th mystery gravestone at the end of FNAF 6, and
Rip
a mention
my
of Cassidy in the final FNAF novel, The Fourth Closet. And that would be...
What? Interesting. Oh shit, there's a whole thing here. Susie, Cassidy, and then Fritz. Fritz is here too. That's fucking crazy.
More than enough proof, but it's not all. In the novel, Cassidy is described as a girl with black hair. And what do we see in the logbook? The puppet giving cake to a little girl with black hair. The only human child in the logbook, no less. And it's happening on a page talking about your happiest day. A direct reference to the happiest day minigame from FNAF 3, where the puppet gives cake to Golden Freddy in an effort to release its soul. You can even hear a girlish laugh.
Wait, I'm sorry. The whole book came out with a list of other kids' names, right? And then the name Cassidy comes up as part of the list, okay? And you guys didn't want to think about that? Instead, you guys were going for number puzzling? My dude? Hello? Wait, so is this real? This is Cassidy? This little girl with long black hair that... Oh, it came out after. Okay. That makes more sense. Not to like be that person or anything, but this little girl looks Asian, okay? To me, right? To me. Represent? Hell yeah, the diversity within all of these, represent. Let's go, girl. Let's go.
Child in the logbook, no less. And it's happening on a page talking about your happiest
Scott, you know what? Scott, really the diversity king out here. Let's go.
day. A direct reference to the happiest day minigame from FNAF 3, where the puppet gives cake to Golden Freddy in an effort to release its soul. You can even hear a girlish laugh every time Golden Freddy is summoned way back in FNAF 1. Literally.
Wait. So if all of this, then what the hell is going on with Crying Child? What? Is Crying Child, like the whole story about Crying Child doesn't have anything to do with the rest of them? What? Oh, wait for later? Okay, I'll pause.
Everything about this reveal lines up. Everything, of course, except for the pronoun of he being used to talk about the one you should not have killed throughout Custom Night.
Still could be somebody else, but sure.
Which, as we established last episode, is referring to Golden Freddy. But consider this, Golden Freddy is a male character. He's Freddy Fazbear, he's Fredbear, regardless of the spirit that possesses it. So the gender confusion works here. Scott even used that to his advantage in the casting call, where he was specifically looking for auditions where, quote, the gender should not be immediately clear. It should work as either a young boy or a young girl. FNAF.
Well, usually young boys and young girls sound pretty alike.
Teaching kids that gender is fluid, but only if you spend 4 years picking apart its obscure lore. Yeah, by the way, FNAF is 4 years old this August. It's crazy, right? Wow, I've been doing this for a long time.
That was 4 years ago.
About Golden Freddy is proving that he gets possessed here, at the first Freddy Fazbear Pizza location, rather than in FNAF 4 like most of us have assumed in the past. You see, in Ultimate Custom Night, you get an item called a Death Coin that can eliminate one animatronic from the game. But if you use it on Golden Freddy, you don't eliminate him from the game, you just get jump scared by Fredbear, and then hear some strange sounds.
Interesting.
Oh!
That almost sounds like a heartbeat.
Huh. It almost sounds like Fredbear is underwater, which we all know is going to be terrible for those spring locks. Anyway, I played around with those audio files and got him to hear. Laughter, obviously. Let's find a suit that's right for you. And there was more fantasy and fun where I came from. That last one feels really random.
Whoa! What? He got that out of the thing?
By Fredbear, and then here's some strange sounds.
Oh!
Huh. It almost sounds like Fred.
That is crazy. That's crazy. Oh my God. I'm sorry, but like, Matt, that is the coolest thing I've ever seen you do. That's quite amazing. I'm genuinely impressed.
And there was more fantasy and fun where I
imagine
came
if he
from.
just, dude,
that last one feels really random, right? Like, "Arrgh, I'm an angry spirit who just
That's fair. That's fair. That's funny.
killed you, but let me tell you about my love of fantasy, fairies, and long walks on the beach first. I'm very in touch with my emotions. However, the phrase fantasy and fun is a direct reference to the first game in the franchise, where Phone Guy welcomes you to
Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, a magical place for kids and grown-ups alike, where fantasy and fun come
It's Scott telling us that Golden
okay, that's
Freddy
pretty
is the
sick.
same spirit who speaks to the crying child via the Fredbear plush at the end of FNAF 4, but who dates all the way back.
Dude, I bet all the devs getting together to talk through all of this, right? And like picking out the smallest details from each of these games. Like, I can only imagine there's got to be like the most expert of experts of each game so that they can pick out small details and sprinkle them into the next one. Is there really only Scott? Are you serious? It's really only Scott?
Back to the first pizzeria and the missing children's incident. Phew, you got.
How is that even possible? Like, this guy literally had to be going through. He probably had to do this like 10 years ahead. All his games. What? Because I genuinely can't believe
Hope
that
you had
all
a good
these.
weekend, by the way. Plus 1 hour smile.
Bento, thank you so much for the biddies. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Bento. Thanks. Yeah, that's crazy. That's wild. Wow. That thank you. Yuna! Whoa, 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 whoa! Thank you so much, Yuna. Thank you, thank you. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for taking your folks on tour. Thank you. Hello, tourists. My name is Liba. I love to travel, but I suck at geography. Sorry. I'm like literally just reacting to somebody adding an hour to my already long-ass fucking timer. And like by one of my frequent flyers, no fucking less. God fucking damn it. How is Minecraft? Hi. Hello. Hello, tourists. Thank you so much.
TheNoobCow.com, Sin Yi Chung, and Yonko IRL is now boarding. Welcome to Label Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight.
Bento, don't say happy to help. I will punch you in the fucking face. Like, first chance I fucking get, dude. I'm literally balling my fucking fist right now. Yuna sending love to, yes, thank you for sending love to my stream. We're watching FNAF lore, okay? We're watching all the MatPat's game theory FNAF lore. You good? No, I'm not good. Thank you for swallow noises also. Hold on, let me get you some swallow noises. What else was I saying? Hi, Oliver. Great to see you. Hello. Yeah, no, I mean, I'm good, right? But Bento makes me angry as a person. So, thank you. Hold on. Let me get you some swallow noises real quick. What is my favorite dish? Oh, yeah, your last name is Nguyen. Awesome. I like, this is going to be funny, but I like Bangkok a lot. I don't know how to explain it to everyone. So, Bangkok is literally like this, like, it's a very small, like by the size of your palm or less, crispy egg, like cup of fried stuff Yeah. I don't know how to tell it. It's shrimp cake, but it's fried and all crispy, and it's not, that's why, right? So that's why when you eat it, it goes, and that's why they call it Bangkok. That's, it's not, it's genuine. I promise you, this is not supposed to be. Of all the not safe for work things I've said, this wasn't supposed to be a joke. It genuinely is like a Viet dish I actually love, which is funny. Okay, hold on. Let me do the swallow noises real quick.
Dem eyebrows.
Okay, there's your swallow noises.
VT is now boarding. Welcome to Label Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight.
And also, Dawn, hello, dear. Why are you talking about my eyebrows? Hello, Nichan. How are you? How are you? Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for continuing your first class. I very much appreciate it, dude. My brain is fucked right now. Thank you so much for continuing your first class. I hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight. What else am I saying? Yes, Dawn. Would you like to subtract 5 minutes from the timer? Maybe the pilot. Unfortunately, Chat Bear, this little bitch on my chest right now, he's the pilot. But we can unstuff him literally anytime. So, what if I add? I mean, what if you add? You know, what if? What do you want me to say? Shrimp cake? Damn, how thick is the slappy on those? The what? What are you saying, Shinobi? Sorry, I'm still working on the Delulu. What the hell is a slappy? Yeah. I know, Axel. Or, sorry, not Axel. Dawn. So would you like to subtract from the timer? Oh, slappy is another one for ass? That's crazy. Man, I feel old, dude. I'm still working on Delulu. Have you guys heard Delulu? That's my like word of the day. I was watching a bunch of TikToks yesterday on the ride back, right, from my event. And like Delulu's my new favorite TikTok term or whatever. Okay, thank you, Yuna. Good night. Good night. Delu what? Yeah, it's just the word delusional, but instead to make it like more fun and like, fuck me, right? They say Delulu. Dawn! Okay, thank you. Big appreciate. I appreciate it. Here we go. You sons of bitches. At some point, I'm gonna end up just fucking ending this shit, bro. Forever.
All that? Good, because that's the easy stuff. Well, not easy, obviously, consider.
Well, you know, I think, anyways, what else? But wait, why does it say 388 days? It doesn't. It's 388 hours. Wait, no. Yes, that's 388 hours. And then 36 minutes. The fucking second timer is counting right there, Dawn. Get it together. I know, Dawn. I know, Dawn. I know. Okay? I promise. I fucking know. Okay? Dawn! I know! Okay? I know. Don't worry. I fucking know. Anyways, we're watching FNAF lore timeline. We're halfway through the game theory FNAF, the final timeline episode. This is MatPat. He's talking.
considering I'm on page 4 of this script and I've only just talked about the first event in the series. But there is consistent logic and evidence to back it all up. However, it's at this point that things get messy from a timeline standpoint. You see, right now there are 2 dangling threads of events that directly conflict with each other. 1, the first Freddy Fazbear location has to close so it can reopen sometime before 1987. However, it has to remain open at
Wait, where
least
are
until
we?
1980.
Okay, hold on. Okay, all right, hold on.
Fantasy and fun come to life.
It's Scott telling us that Golden Freddy is the same spirit who speaks to the crying child via the Fredbear plush at the end of FNAF 4, but who dates all the way back to the first pizzeria and the missing children's incident. Phew, you got all that? Good, because that's the...
How do we know for sure that it's the psychic friend Fredbear?
Arrgh, I'm an angry spirit who just killed you, but let me tell you about my love of fantasy, fairies, and fun is a direct... First in touch with my
Is it
phone, tell
because
you about my
this
feels really random,
specifically?
right? Like, arrgh, I'm an...
Is that specifically psychic friend Fredbear? Thank you, Don. Love you. Or is this just regular Golden Freddy? It looks like it's just regular Golden Freddy. How does he know specifically this is psychic friend Fredbear?
An angry spirit who just killed you, but let me tell you about my love of fantasy, fairies, and long walks on the beach first. I'm very in touch with my emotions. However, the phrase fantasy and fun is a direct reference to the first game in the franchise, where Phone Guy welcomes you to...
Honestly, the Game Theorists, like, team videos are just really good. They're actually fucking funny, and it's also well edited and detailed. This is... Like, because I know I always give Matt Pat shit, but, you know, the shit I give him is just, like, basic theory shit, right? Like, how much of this is actually substantiated from good clues, and how much of it is you just trying to make something up, right? But that said, he does a lot of his own research. He does a lot of great research and script writing. Everything here is quality. Like, they're great, genuinely. I don't want to make sure. I feel like everybody is, like, confused about that.
Fazbear's Pizza, a magical place for kids and grown-ups alike, where fantasy and fun come to life.
It's Scott telling us that Golden Freddy is the same spirit who speaks to the crying child via the Fredbear plush at the end of FNAF 4, but who dates all the way back to the first pizzeria and the missing children's incident. Phew, you got all that? Good, because that's the easy stuff. Well, not easy, obviously, considering I'm on page 4 of this script and I've only just talked about the first event in the series. But there is consistent logic and evidence to back it all up. However, it's at this point that things get messy from a timeline standpoint. You see, right now there are 2 dangling threads of events that directly conflict with each other. 1,
Why
the
would
first
they
Freddy
conflict?
Fazbear location has to close so it can reopen sometime before 1987. However, it has to remain open at least until 1983 when the FNAF 4 bite happens, the event that prompts Phone Guy to call back to the FNAF 1 location informing them that the Springlock suits are being retired.
Welcome to your new career as a performer/entertainer for Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Right now, we have 2 specially designed suits that double as both animatronic and suit. After learning of an unfortunate incident at the sister location involving multiple and simultaneous spring lock failures, the company has deemed the suits temporarily unfit for employees.
This is important because Phone Guy later makes a point of saying that the Spring Bonnie suit is still being moved.
Management has also been made aware that the Spring Bonnie animatronic has been noticeably moved,
Which implies that Afton is still using it to kill kids, aka the missing children's incident is still going on.
I feel like that means that there's 2, besides the Circus Baby location, there's still 2 other locations going on. Because I feel like the Circus Baby location spring lock suits are not the
think
same,
I got
right?
this right, but I would love to go out for some Boncock with you sometime, then we can go to your place for some Bencock. Lily Bell finger guns.
Thank you so much for the biddies. But after that stunt you pulled just like a few minutes ago, in your fucking wildest dreams, okay, buddy? I appreciate it, though. Thank you. Thank you so much. Oh, look at that. Somebody feels a little bad, don't they? Ha ha. Somebody feels a little bad. Ho ho ho. I appreciate it, Bento. I hope your weekend was good, hon. I'm sorry. I just realized right now everything came in all at once and I like totally forgot to acknowledge.
Even after the bite of 1983. That would all be fine except for point number 2. According to Hand Unit and Sister Location, Circus Baby's Pizza World is opened after Freddy Fazbear's is closed.
Yes.
Due to the massive success and even more so the unfortunate closing of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, it was clear that the stage was set, no pun intended, for another contender in children's entertainment.
Again,
I don't like that there's a sound of people moving behind me.
this wouldn't be a problem if it wasn't for the empty girl's bedroom that we see in FNAF 4. As we established in a previous episode using the FNAF survival logbook, the crying child is Michael Afton, which would make...
Wait, this is still not true, right? Necessarily. This is still technically not true.
this his sister's room, Elizabeth Afton, the girl who gets herself clawed
Okay.
and goes on to possess Baby on the opening day of Baby's Pizzeria. That's why she's missing and why her room is empty. But that can't happen if Freddy's is still open. And
But it can be multiple Freddys, no? I thought it was like multiple Freddys.
Freddy's can't be closed until the bite of 83 causes the spring locks to be retired so that phone guy can make his call. You see the problem there? Do you understand why creating a timeline of all this stuff
There
is
was
so
one
darn
location,
complicated?
but I feel like what the phone guy is trying to say is another location, another Freddy Fazbear location is the reason that the spring lock stopped. Like another Freddy Fazbear's sister okay, forget it. Okay.
Anyway,
We'll
to
get
move
there.
forward,
We'll
we
get
have to
there.
apply rule
Draw
number
the
1 that I
fucking
talked about
timeline.
earlier and throw out some of the phone guy information in order for the events to work. Freddy Fazbear's first location closes in the aftermath of the missing children's incident. With no pizzeria to serve as his murder den, Afton tries to launch a new restaurant, Circus Baby's Pizza World. It's important to note that this is an actual restaurant and not the underground rental service you see in Sister Location. We'll get to that one much later. Based on the name, we can be confident that this place has a clown aesthetic, which makes it likely that all the animatronics who don't fit into the Freddy Fazbear series of restaurants were made specifically for this place. The Mini Renas, Balloon Boy, JJ, Dee Dee, and of course, the star attraction, Baby. Notice how they all even look alike. However, on day 1 of the restaurant opening, Elizabeth, Afton's daughter, finds herself alone with Baby and gets herself clawed. We know that it's closed on day 1, both from Baby's story and sister location.
Did you know that I was on stage once? It wasn't for very long.
That's so true though, Shakier. That's genuinely fucking true. Like, catch me falling asleep in world history, okay? But like, here I am going, I don't know. Holy shit, how would I feel if I actually tried to learn real history, like, through this? Just relearning what I was supposed to learn in school that I never fucking learned. Will, hello!
Only one day.
And from this hidden news
Okay,
story,
wait, hold on.
Both from Baby's story and sister location.
Did you know that I was on stage once? It wasn't for very long. Only one day.
Damn, that's kind of sad, bro.
Gas leak posted on Scott's website in the lead up to the release of the game. This in turn explains a lot of the weirdness going on in FNAF 4. Why Elizabeth's room is empty. Why Michael Afton has nightmares of animatronics with
Chat
stomach
Bear?
mouths. And why William locks Michael in his room and has so many surveillance cameras.
Well, does somebody want some attention? Is that what it is? Somebody wants some attention? Little baby.
Following him around. He doesn't want what happened to his daughter to also happen to his
I'm
youngest
doing
son.
fine,
You
Will.
see why
Thank
it's so
you.
important for
I
Circus
appreciate
Baby's
it.
Pizza World to happen before the events of FNAF 4? Before 1983? A lot of pieces fit in place if it does. Anyway, in the aftermath of the tragedy, he buries Baby and most of the other humanoid characters underground in a facility that we'll eventually explore in Sister Location. The rest go on to the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria, which is set to reopen. But first...
Benzo, thank you so much for the biddies. I appreciate. Thank you. And just because you made a minus on there, you're such a good boy, Bento. You're such a good boy. Bento's such a good boy. Good boy. Good boy. Are you my good boy? Thank you. And thank you for fixing your posture as well. I appreciate it.
Running parallel to all of this, and I mean all of it,
Yeah,
is Fredbear's
yeah,
Family
you're so
Diner.
like-
Not
you guys
the
are my
sister
good
location we
ones,
visited
huh?
the game's sister location, but the only sister location actually called a sister location by phone guy
I want a
during his
Chris
FNAF
Chan
3
Five
calls about
Nights
spring
crossover.
locks.
When we gonna get that shit?
We know for a fact that Fredbear's
Perish
Family
adds
Diner
2
is the FNAF
minutes.
4 location based on this purple hat teaser that came out with the release of the game. Right?
Thank you for the biddies, Will. That's all I'll say. You know what? I feel like I should good boy Will just because I feel like Will not like it. Will, you're such a good boy. Aren't you my little good boy? Are you right? Yeah, I'm right. You're such a good boy. Good boy. Such a good boy, Will.
The image, look down in the bottom right-hand corner and fill in the blanks, and you get yourself property of Fredbear's Family Diner. We also know that it should fit here in the timeline because of one small detail that Scott made note of with the release of FNAF 4's Halloween edition. While Nightmare Puppet and Nightmare Mangle weren't canon, he made it clear that Nightmare Balloon Boy was. Now, if I'm right about Circus Baby's Pizza World and the red-cheeked design of its characters, then the crying child would have come across Balloon Boy.
All right. No, I've never been fucked by brothers.
Location we visited in the game's sister location, but the only sister location actually called a sister location by
What, Will? What the fuck did you just say? Oh, is that supposed to be plotting my downfall? Okay, no lie, you guys. I genuinely thought that was sexual. And I was like, Will never says sexual things to me. Okay? That sounds sexual. That you will condense my... What does that... Right? That doesn't sound threatening. That sounds like you're about to, you know, make that shit frothy. I don't know what to tell you. Ooh.
Phone guy during
Okay. We gotta go back here.
An unfortunate incident at the sister location.
We know for a fact that Fredbear's Family Diner is the FNAF 4 location based on this purple hat teaser that came out with the release of the game.
Okay.
Right in the image, look down in the bottom right-hand corner and fill in the blanks, and you get yourself property of Fredbear's Family Diner. Right-hand corner and fill in the blanks, and you get yourself property of Fredbear's Family Diner. We also know that it should fit here in the timeline because of one small detail that Scott made note of with the release of FNAF 4's Halloween edition. While Nightmare Puppet and
Don't say
Nightmare Mangle...
frothy? Why? What's wrong with frothy? Y'all don't want to see this shit on your morning coffee or what?
weren't canon, he made it clear that Nightmare Balloon Boy was. Now, if I'm right about Circus Baby's Pizza World and the red-cheeked design of its characters, then the crying child would have come across Balloon Boy.
Yes.
He existed at this point in the timeline.
Yes.
But because both the puppet and Mangle don't exist until the FNAF 2 location, neither of them would be appearing in his nightmares. Therefore, not canon. Therefore, the timeline continues to make sense.
What?
So at this point, we know how the story goes. William is working there as what appears to be a suit technician. Michael Afton, aka the crying child, has witnessed his friends and maybe even his sister get killed. I mean, he's even locked in the supply
I'd ask
closet
when
with what
chat
appears
got
to be
away
the body
from
of Golden
everyone and
Freddy.
Lily, but honestly, when did we ever have it together?
Safety is top priority at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, which is why the classic suits are being retired to an appropriate location while being looked at by our technicians.
At the end of the week, at his birthday party, he gets shoved into Fredbear's mouth by his brother, and crunch! He dead, son! The spirits of his dead friends, all 5 of them, remind them that they're still here for him, and the whole incident goes down in history as the Bite of 83, based on both the TV Easter egg in FNAF 4 and the code in Sister Location's secret room. Oh, but again, it's here that we hit another little wrinkle. You see, in the FNAF survival logbook, it asks Michael whether his favorite ride was the carousel, a feature that was only present in the FNAF 2
Hey, let me just it's okay that I'm still not understanding this part, right? Because I feel like it's gonna change again in a little bit. Okay, awesome.
Restaurant. This also coincides with my hypothesis earlier about the Midnight Motorist minigame and Junior's being another name for Freddy's version 2. It would make sense that that place that he's going to is indeed him running out to the new Freddy Fazbear's location. But we know Michael gets bit in 1983 and that the FNAF 2 location is open in 1987 based on the paychecks you see in the game. Fortunately, though, there's an elegant solution this time. The FNAF 2 location is just open earlier than we thought. Remember Fredbear's Family Diner being open open doesn't preclude a new Freddy's location from also being open at the same time.
That's what I was saying earlier, dude. I was saying that there's definitely a possibility that there's 2 Freddy locations while sister location is open. So when he says, oh, well, actually, no, sister location could be sister location.
I'm just
I don't
waiting
know.
for Shaggy to be the villain in the FNAF movie.
Shaggy the ultimate hero, hello.
Proved Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria is just open earlier than we all thought, at least as early as 1983, and continuing through 1987 when a new series of murders happens and the Bite of 87 gets it closed down. This all allows Michael to visit that place again, have the carousel be his favorite, but still...
Antonio! Thank you, thank you! Thank you so much! I really appreciate the 5 gifted! Holy shit! That's so sweet of you! Thank you so much! On Monday, my day back too. I feel so loved. I feel so loved. I appreciate that. All right. That means for sure, all right, we have a spin. Woo! Now we have this. Yes. Wait. Right? Hold on. No. Wait. Hold on.
Last Donner smile -2.
Okay. Hold on. 1. Yes, I think that's right. Yeah. Okay. Okay, there we are. That's the new one. We have a spin. Bento, thank you so much for the biddies. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Antonio, would you like to subtract from the timer? Thank you so much. Thank you, Antonio. I really appreciate it. Look at you. Thank you so much. That's really kind of you. Okay, there we go. And we need to do a little thing. Hold on. Where's the fucking... Open the damn list, damn it. Hold on. Okay. Hopefully this works out. This works out. Yes, it does. And now we have a spin. I'm not even here to see SAT. Shit. No, never mind. Seriously, no. Okay. Oh no. This is gonna be bad. I have decided I'm probably... Oh my god! I know, Layton. I want you to know last week, I was gonna take it off, too. Last week, I was like, oh, I should probably remember to take off the spicy noodle ASMR. I really said that, and then fucking forgot it again. I fucking forgot it. Anyways. Well... Now you guys get spicy noodle ASMR. Yay. Layton, I'm sorry. I'm so... I want you guys to know this happens every fucking time. I've done spicy noodle ASMR. I've done spicy noodle challenges 2 other times now. And the first time I did it, I was like, Layton, you remind me not to do it again, okay? And Layton's like, yeah, sure. And so the next time I was like, okay, I'll do it. And Layton's like, hey, remember? I told you. Remember, you told me to tell you not to do it again. And I'm like, yeah, it's okay. It'll be fine. And then after that, I literally said, Layton, I'm sorry. Yeah, we should probably not do it again. And here it is now. Here it is fucking now. Well, we've done it. I've done this to myself. We've done it. We sure have done it. Where the fuck did it go? Hello? Where the fuck did it go? I literally just... Hold on, you guys. Sorry. Oh, there it is. Okay, well... Yeah, and yes, and Layton did remind me this time, too. He saw it on the thing, and he said, why the fuck is Spicy Noodle on the fucking wheel? And I was like, Amazing Grace. How sweet. And it's ASMR this time. So, well, that'll be fun for people, I think. You guys will like that, right? 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 Yep. Thank you so much, you guys. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah. Just don't make them spicy fart sounds audible. Do you get spicy farts done? I promise you, I do not get fucking spicy farts. What brand of noodles is it? Honestly, I don't know. I'm gonna have to ask Rumi because I didn't again, I want you to know I expected to get so many other ones before I got that one. Just like big goal wheel, like the big goal wheel. I did not expect to get one of those on my first fucking days. Okay? So I don't know. It didn't hit my brain. Okay? So I have to ask my roomie now to go, like, if we even have spicy noodle leftovers. You're starting to learn the way gacha works? I have Shin Black Ramen. Shin Black Ramen I eat, like, normally. So that's at least where my spicy level can start. But spicy can have multiple meanings. So it has to be at some sort of level that this is genuinely a punishment for me and a good thing for you. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I feel like Bulldog. The last few times I had Bulldog, which is also terrifying. Like, seeing that little chicken bitch, it's not... Okay. Well, anyways, we're almost done with this video, but thank you so much. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Bento, Antonio, you guys sent it over to another wheel thing, so there we go. There we are.
He'll die in 1983. Because William doesn't want to lose another child, especially since he's in his own killing spree, he puts security cameras everywhere and uses the illusion sound discs first introduced in the Twisted Ones novel to scare Michael away from the restaurant. That's what he means by he'll be sorry when he gets back. William is intentionally locking him in his room, giving him nightmares.
Oh,
hence why Michael is so scared by the time we see him in
wait, okay, that shit, like, makes sense, but it doesn't have anything to do with, like, the hospital? No, yeah. Hold on. You're forgetting about the hospital part, though, Matt.
Locking him in his room, giving him nightmares.
Can imagine on the ASMR. Honestly, the other noodle challenges weren't ASMR, so I think this is gonna be real interesting.
Hence why Michael is so scared by the time we see him in FNAF 4. Additionally, Ultimate Custom Night proves that the nightmare animatronics are just that, nightmare.
He got bit. But I feel like he's saying that the entire game is just nightmares before he got bit. And that's why it's supposed to scare him away. And then he got bit after that. After the game. After the fact.
Illusions.
This time, there is more than an illusion to fear. I am given flesh to be your tormentor.
Both these lines indicate that before they were just an illusion, they had no flesh. But now, in the latest game, they are real. So contrary to popular belief, these things were never real animatronics. Just a glorified way for William to keep his son away from his murder locations. Except, obviously, it didn't work. Despite his best, well, maybe not his best, but definitely his most stalkerish efforts, Michael gets crunched and dies. A fact that becomes very problematic for the timeline considering that Michael Afton clearly survived till the end of the games. We see him.
You can tell, though, that, like, how did you not know that it was a different brother? How can you, like, not figure some shit like that out? Because earlier you mentioned that, like, this is probably not Michael. You know what I mean? Like, why did you suddenly make this Michael when it doesn't have to be Mike? Oh, because of the activity book. Right.
in sister location. We watch him get scooped. We hear about him burning in FNAF 6. How is all of that possible if he's already dead? Surprisingly, there is a way to solve it.
He's gonna try to
I
solve
have the
that?
evidence to prove it, but sadly it'll have to wait until
Oh
next time.
my god.
This ended up being a 12-page script, which
He
there's
really
no way
gonna
that we
sit
can do
here and
all in
solve
one
that
week.
shit.
So in the words of Dee Dee, how unfortunate, how unfortunate. This is a thing I hate to do, but the rest has to go in a part 2. Anyway, don't worry, we'll get it out as fast as possible.
What the fuck is
already
that?
written. I just need to divide this up for editing purposes. In the meantime, though, make sure you jump scare that subscribe button to, well, who knows what it does at this point, but it makes me feel good about the effort I put into this video, which is really nice. So make me feel good.
All right, the rest of it is sponsorship stuff. I wanted to do the game theory thing, but you know, it's okay, Matt. You make that money, bro.
Dear diary, yesterday was
Yeah!
amazing. He's here, he's there,
He's everywhere. Who you gonna call? Psychic friend Red Bear.
This time you'll have to keep up with me.
What the hell is this?
Never mind. Is the purple man.
I love this. Game theory, FNAF. This is the end. FNAF Ultimate Custom Night.
The phone guy.
Exotic. Butt.
Alien shiz. I love that. Alien shiz. Dude, you guys, we need to put this somewhere. I'm pretty sure this is a code. I'm pretty sure this is a code to unlock something else.
Hello, Internet. Welcome
It's
to
not a
Game
code we've
Theory,
checked.
where, before we
I was supposed to be a joke, but the fact that you guys fucking checked says everything I ever needed to know ever.
close the book on our final FNAF theory, it's time to open the book on new Back to School merch.
What? Really? Four years ago, 2013, 12, 11, 10, 9. Yeah! Wow! That's... Wow. Wow. Get that bag!
Or back to work post-summer vacation merch. Anyway, you guys know that I take merch super seriously, but this time I wanted to try something really different. You guys clearly like mysteries and theories, right? Well, this is, as far as I know, the first ever YouTuber merch that gets totally meta. That's right, I have personally made a real-world mystery for you to solve alongside the rest of the theorist community hidden inside of this round of merch. This first one isn't too hard. It's about a 5-step treasure hunt, but it's
Wait, this is actually really cool. I love that. This is, hey, I'm gonna write this shit down. Hold on. Mystery, merch, theory, crime, open sesame, Matt Pat, game theorist. I'm just gonna steal that. I'm not even apologizing for that.
I'd like to do moving forward with all future merch pushes, so, you know, if this one gets you warmed up, future ones are gonna get real serious. Oh, and of course, there's a real-life reward to the first 100 people who get to the end of this little treasure hunt. They're gonna be in the same group as the people with the golden coins from last merch push, so, you know, rewards are coming. We're keeping track of this stuff. So, where could these clues be hiding? Well, let me show you what I got. This time we worked with the factory for 4 months to have a specialty fabric made for our t-shirt.
Okay, alrighty, let's move on here. Oh my god! That was like 4 full fucking minutes, bro. Okay, I mean, good for you guys. Shit, we could have done that shit. Apparently nobody's gonna get so much angry at us.
Now then, let's wrap up FNAF, shall we? Even though this is part 2 of the timeline, we've still got a lot to cover, so in the words of Phil DeFranco,
let's just jump into it.
When last we left things, we'd covered everything up through the second Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria location. Things like why the missing children's incident must be the first event.
Like, I'm still confused. Like, these last 2 ones, he's confused me more than some of his other ones, so I'm just like, you know what? It's gonna change in about 3 to 4 episodes, so.
Of the timeline, the identity of Golden Freddy, why Circus Baby's Pizza World has to come earlier in the timeline than most people expect, and a quick review over how Michael Afton is the crying child from FNAF 4. But all of that left us with a big question. If Michael Afton is the crying child who gets himself bit, then how is he able to come back later in the timeline for games like Sister Location and Pizzeria Simulator? Well, this is where the books once again come in to give us the solution that no one would have predicted. You see, at the end of FNAF 4, we get the lines, "We are still your friends."
This
We
isn't
still
even the
believe
true
that.
timeline?
I
Okay,
will
good
put
to
you
know.
back together. We've never actually established who speaks those words. Ultimately, the best guess that we had was the puppet. But here's the thing, it can't be the puppet. Based on this, my final and best timeline of events, William hasn't killed Henry's daughter yet. The puppet isn't possessed yet. Instead, that line is more likely coming from William. It's him making a fateful promise to his dead son. I will put you back together. The thing is, he takes that promise a lot more literally than any of us would have ever suspected. He is literally promising to physically put his son
Wow.
back
Oh, is this where he
together
thinks?
as
Is this
a
where he says that this is a robot?
and we know from the final
Oh,
FNAF
fucking.
novel,
You absolute dipshit. He literally said right there that this is a robot.
fourth closet, that William in that story is obsessed with bringing life to these machines. And even more importantly, we know that in Scott's vision of this world, robots who think they're human and don't realize that they're robots is a real thing. A huge twist at the end of the final FNAF novel is that the main character, Charlie, Henry's daughter, is actually revealed to be one of these sorts of robots. And not just a single robot, mind you. Charlie is one in a series of 4 robots. That's what the title of the book is referencing. She was kidnapped and killed by Afton. That in Scott's vision of this world, robots who think they're human and don't realize that they're robots is a real thing. A huge twist at the end of the final FNAF novel is that the main character, Charlie, Henry's daughter, is actually revealed to be one of these sorts of robots. And not just a single robot, mind you. Charlie is one in a series of 4 robots. That's what the title of the book is referencing. She was kidnapped and killed.
I don't. Is that true? Does this book actually turn into that? Okay. Well, the books are great. The books are they're just awesome. They're just books, you know? They really are booking.
By Afton as a 3-year-old girl, and in his grief over losing his daughter, Henry built 4 robotic versions of her, each one slightly older than the last, implanting each version with memories so that she could grow up just like a normal kid. Quote, Charlie would be a baby, then a little girl,
ASMR
then a
FNAF book
sulky
reading?
teenager, then at
Like with
last, she would be
Destiny?
a woman.
That's
She
funny.
would be finished. Perfect. End quote. It's weird, definitely, and it opens up a whole heck of a lot of plot holes in the novel, but I honestly think that this might be what happens.
I don't
to
think
Michael
anybody
Afton in the
would
games.
ever want to sit
Clearly,
down and
he
actually
dies
hear
during
through
the
that
fight of
shit, bro.
83. The survival logbook confirms this over and over and over again. That is locked in. But Michael is literally rebuilt by Afton, put back together by William. The books allude to it, it fits with the timeline, and most importantly of all, it explains why he doesn't die after getting scooped in Sister
I'm pretty
Location.
sure they have audiobook readings already.
Why his memory is so foggy throughout the survival logbook, but most importantly of all, why he can only die through fire. Have you ever stopped?
Okay, so my question is, right, to all of our FNAF people here, why does the logbook have so much of crying child's memories, but says like Mike in the beginning and then not? Misdirection? Okay. Like that's what we're really hoping for, right? Because I hopefully like Scott or some, well, you know, other clues are like, yeah, no, sorry, I didn't really mean to make you guys push that together.
Have to consider that. Michael.
So what it is you guys never get the answer to it, but then you guys just assume that's not it, right? Oh, 3 different people exist in that. Oh, okay. That okay. Good to know. Thank you.
Afton lives through getting himself scooped at the end of Sister Location, but passes on just like all the other animatronics at the end of FNAF 6, when the remnant in his body is burned away. Remember, based on our timeline, William Afton has already seen his daughter die in Circus Baby, and has also probably seen that her spirit possesses the suit, so he knows it's possible.
It's literally so like rotted in my brain right now, the FNAF stuff, that straight up, I'm like, wait, how do we know that's William's daughter? And then I was like, wait a minute, I'm losing my fucking mind. Like, for a good second, I thought this was Henry's daughter, right? Before I woke up. Like, this is how much FNAF brain rot I'm really sitting on.
For a living spirit to
I'm
be
guessing you're getting more invested in these.
It
doesn't keep me nice.
Sister Location,
you know what I mean?
In the first place.
Father, it's me, Michael. I did it. I put her back together.
Yeah, it doesn't keep me up nice. It's like, it's in front of me, so I might as well try to do the thing. But like, I'm not gonna lie, okay? Axel knows this, but literally over the weekend, while I was gone, I like was literally telling my roomie, I was like, if you're gonna do one thing for me, please play Stanley Parable. I'll tell you that. Like, I had such a great time with Stanley Parable that I was like, nah, you gotta do that.
Together, just like you asked me to.
He knows that Michael's sister, his daughter, is still down there, so he's aware of what she is, and it might be his way of breaking the news to Michael. Hey there, kiddo, there was something I was meaning to tell you, but unfortunately, I'm kinda trapped in a wall right now. So go down into that creepy cellar I have and pay a visit to your sister. She might prompt some really existential revelations. And lastly, consider this. In the bonus cutscenes for Sister Location, Baby establishes that she knows that Michael can't die.
You won't die, you won't die, you won't die.
So she might just recognize that they're one and the same. This insane sounding theory, and trust me, I recognize that it sounds completely bonkers, may actually tie into the mystery of the FNAF 4 box. What's in it? It might actually be Michael Afton's body. Yeah, remember I just said that in the fourth closet, the main character was actually the third in a series of 4 robots? Well, she almost gets herself killed at the end of book 2, and is discovered midway through book 3, locked in a box that sounds very similar to the one that appears at the end of FNAF 4.
Good night,
Quote,
Don.
John moved
Thank
to
you,
a large
dear.
green chest, the paint almost entirely worn off. There was no lock. John knelt beside it, found the handle, and heaved it open, then shuddered. It's Charlie, he said hoarsely. In the chest. She was locked in a box. That's insane. She was locked in a box. Who knows for how long? Days? Months? End quote. I actually know how long she was trapped in the box. It was 6 months. So anyway, is this definitive proof of what's in the box and that Michael Afton is a robot? No. But it's definitely circumstantial evidence, and think about this.
That's pretty crazy, honestly, that, like, he specifically put out something about being locked in a box. But if it was all for misdirection, I'm like, that's surprising, because you definitely could have tied that in. Well, he wants misdirection, so.
Remember that Scott kept the box locked because he was worried that the fan base wouldn't accept the answer to what was inside of it. Well, can you blame him? If he kept a broken robot kid inside of the box, that would probably upset a few people, because at this point in the series, it would literally come out of nowhere. Up to FNAF 4, this was just the story of a creepy, haunted animatronic pizzeria. Nothing about robot kids or anything like that. The last stretch of this series just went into some weird directions.
Honestly, I'm a little late for it, but here's the cop-out alarm for that one. Cop-out alarm! Cop-out alarm! Cop-out alert! Really? Robot kid, Matt?
Anyway, with the bite of 83, Fredbear's Family Diner closes, leaving only Freddy Fazbear's second location, Junior's, a new, larger location with upgraded security in the form of the
Super
toy
Weenie
animatronics.
Junior!
After all missing children from their last endeavor, Henry wanted to take an extra special
Wait, hold the
precaution
fucking phone. Wait, hold on. Why is Chica look like that? Why does Chica have panties? That's Toy Chica looks just like this? Oh, it's hot pants? Oh, okay. No, I know. Look, Toy Chica has had like 4 different looks I've noticed by now. Like before, I was like, what the fuck is that? And you guys were like, oh, it's Toy Chica. But she didn't have a beak. And now I'm like, wait, she has a beak? And you guys are like, yeah, she has a beak. And I was like, but I thought that she didn't have a fucking beak. And it's like, yeah, they changed that. Like, okay, great, awesome. You guys will like fucking coom at every second mention of a different colored toothbrush, all right? But you guys will just overlook the fact that Chica just got a beak out of nowhere? Toy Chica got a beak out of nowhere? Okay. Oh, she takes out her beak and eyes in-game. All right, that makes sense. All right. Okay, understandable then. My bad. But how was I supposed to notice that she was wearing straight panties? Which, you know, hot pants, panties, is pretty fucking close. Play FNAF. I already said it, okay? I have a price. In that price includes me playing all the FNAF games, okay? But I have a price.
For all missing children from their last endeavor, Henry wanted to take an extra special precaution to further protect his daughter. He installed an upgraded surveillance system in the form of security puppets, specifically programmed to watch one child, his daughter. As an added nod to where security puppet fits into the timeline,
it is not
Scott
$100, Galileo. You're missing an extra zero there.
Box as part of the visuals in its minigame in FNAF 6, a box that only occurs in the FNAF 2 location. You can even see what looks to be wanted posters in the back alley, thereby establishing that a crime had been committed in this area previously. William Afton returns and, because he's a prime suspect in the missing children's incident, is not allowed back at the pizzeria. That's why we see him turned away at the door to Junior's. As a result, he's forced to kill Henry's daughter outside, behind the facility. Her soul goes on to possess the security puppet, and she proceeds to give life in the—
Wait, he's saying that this happens when?
FNAF 2 location. You can even see what looks to be wanted posters
like,
in the back
oh
alley.
wait, it doesn't matter. I'm
Pizzeria.
sorry.
That's why we see it.
I keep pausing and I'm like trying to make sense of it, and I'm like, wait a minute, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Turned away at the door to Junior's. As a result, he's forced to kill Henry's daughter outside, behind the facility. Her soul goes on.
Remember, that means and it has to be a subtraction, a minus to the timer.
On to possess the security puppet, and she proceeds to give life to all the other lost souls.
Who's the teddy?
It's
Chat.
original 5 animatronics. We know this based on the Save Them minigame, where we see the puppets searching for someone to help the dead children lying around the pizzeria. The toy animatronics are standing on stage lifeless, but most tellingly of all, we see the original versions of Foxy, Chica, and Bonnie inactive in the parts and supply room, and yet Freddy is somehow able to freely move around. This shows us that some of the OG animatronics haven't been given gifts given life yet. It's also worth noting that on rare instances we get an Easter egg of Golden Freddy broken there on the floor, his ghostly self phasing into and out of existence. And that's not all. Get close to him and for a brief moment you catch a glimpse of a white dot appearing in his eye. Golden Freddy has the spirit of Cassidy already in him, except there are 2 problems.
Where did Cassidy
First,
come
he's a
from?
spring-lock suit. Unlike the others, he can't freely—
Right? Hold on. We know this based on the Save the Minigames. Okay, yeah. Well, we see the original versions of... Okay. So where the fuck is he trying to say that Cassidy came from? Oh, Cassidy was just casually killed off screen. Everybody else's death had to line up except for Cassidy's, right?
Move around because he's not kept in animatronic mode. Despite the puppet's
When is
best
it our
attempts,
turn to be a
Cassidy will
murderous
forever
animatronic
trapped in
possessed
suit
by
that
a
is
soul of a
perpetually
dead
slumped
child?
over. But secondly, the yellow Golden Freddy suit is being kept, like we saw, in the FNAF 4 location. Hence why in FNAF 2 and then onward in the series, he's forced to remain as just a spirit. Afton continues to sneak into the pizzeria disguised as a security guard, using his signature spring-lock suit and crank to kill kids. This prompts the animatronics to get angry and attack anyone in a security guard uniform. As we see throughout the FNAF novels and as the puppet reinforces an ultimate custom night,
The others are like animals, but I am very aware.
so they're not rationally thinking, which results in night guard turned to day guard Jeremy Fitzgerald getting his frontal lobe bit in an event known as the Bite of 87, and henceforth animatronics are no longer allowed to free roam in the restaurants. In total, another 5 children die in the FNAF 2 location, again shown through the Save Them minigame.
I really do feel like the Bite of 87, which is really funny. It's like, it feels more random in there, honestly. Like, I know that at some it's being put together now as lore to say, okay, it went from free roaming to non-free roaming. Now you guys can put up the timeline or whatever. It's just, it feels so, I don't know. It's just in the idea of, right, because like obviously the Bite of 87 came before this whole Afton story. So in the idea of that, it's just funny. And being put into the Afton story, it sounds so not part of it.
Before the place is shut down and the toy animatronics get scrapped. Since, let's be honest, they were all kind of crap at their job anyway. More
Yeah,
importantly, it's at this point that
indie-bing-ying.
Afton realizes the power of children's souls. It's here where he first sees the animatronics moving freely, possessed by the spirits of the dead children and activated by the puppet. And here, through the end of the series, his mission changes. He's no longer just killing kids. He's now looking to actively harness that power for himself so he can be immortal. It's a goal that he expresses in the fourth closet. Quote, "You killed them. They died in the suits. Their bodies were bound inside along with their souls. The spirit follows the flesh, it would seem, and also the pain. If I wish to become my own immortal creation, my body must lead my spirit to its eternal home." This affects all his future actions in the series. So when the withered animatronics get sent back to the FNAF 1 location for storage and the possible
I feel like, okay, like I do like how he uses the books to fill certain plot holes, but I feel like at this point in time, he's using too much of the timeline up. Like he's putting more, I feel like, emphasis than needs to be from the books. Does that make sense?
opening of the pizzeria, William tracks them back to dismantle them and discover their power. This leads to the cutscenes from FNAF 3, where William systematically lures the original animatronics to the back safe room one by one, only to dismantle them. Before, these cutscenes seemed super random. It just seemed like him trying to get rid of the animatronics for reasons. But now, thanks to the novels, we actually know why he did it, to dissect the robots and experiment on them. And it's these experiments that end up producing the Funtime animatronics. One big lingering question mark of the series was
But I thought that you were saying that this is after, because the Funtime animatronics are for circus babies, right? And you're saying that this is afterwards.
the nature of the Funtime animatronics
I'm
deep
pretty
underground
sure.
during Sister Location. How were they alive? Were they possessed by more dead kids? Well, we finally have our answer there, courtesy of Candy Cadet and the Fourth Closet. Now, back in FNAF 6, Candy Cadet's stories were a bit of a mystery. Each one had to do with 5 things becoming one thing. 5 keys melted together, 5 orphans sewn together to fit into one coffin, 5 kittens sacrificed and then combined to fit into one shoebox. It seemed like it was referring to Ennard, the amalgamation of all the other animatronic parts, but the math was always kinda wonky. Ennard consisted of Baby, Ballora, Funtime Freddy, and Funtime Foxy, which is just 4 animatronics. Maybe if you squinted at it, you would include the Bonnie puppet, but that seemed like a stretch.
Yeah.
And as a result, we just weren't quite sure what was going on with those stories. Luckily, the release of the Fourth Closet has cleared this mystery up. Quote, a single figure stood still amongst the chaos, out of phase with the surroundings. At first, it seemed to be a man bent over a table, but as Carlton's head throbbed with waves of confusion, the man became a yellow rabbit. Not standing over a table, but over 5 children, tied together as one. He knew exactly what he was looking at. The endoskeletons of the original Freddy's animatronics, welded and melted together, immobile and featureless, and still
This is
inhabited by the spirits
nasty!
of the children who had been murdered inside of them so many years ago, still filled with life and motion and thought, all trapped, all in terrible pain. End quote. So in the FNAF 3 cutscenes, we see William dismantle the animatronics. From there, he melts down their endoskeletons to discover the secret of their everlasting life. He then uses this molten spirit metal, Remnant, to infuse life into his new creations, the Funtime animatronics. Quote again, the table's surface was glowing orange and the hot metal hissed. William took a syringe from the woman's hand and thrust it into the squirming thing forcefully. He drew the plunger up, holding the needle steady as the syringe filled with molten substance. He staggered back toward the bear. The man again pried open the heavy chest plate of the standing broken bear, then carefully inserted the syringe he held directly into the chest cavity and began to press the plunger down. What this and the Candy Cadet stories tell us—
Jesus fucking Christ.
is that the Fun Times weren't just possessed by new kids, they were created from the remnant of the original 5, fused together into one chaotic, confused spiritual mess. Like Ennard said from his original teaser for Sister Location, there's a piece of me in every body. From those experiments, William is able to open Circus Babies Entertainment and Rentals, the underground facility from Sister Location. Using Remnant, he brings life to animatronics specifically designed to lure and trap kids so he can have more test subjects.
Remnant is and will stay, I think, the midichlorian of fucking FNAF, okay?
For his experiments. He then rents the robots out to special events and other locations. Why isn't there a Fun Time Chica in Sister Location? Simply because she's rented out. We see this hidden in the source code to Scott's website around the time of Sister Location's release. Chica's party world is a separate location, a client of Afton Robotics, and as such, she's not being kept underground with the rest of them. That's why she's gone, only to then reappear in FNAF 6 and Custom Night. But
my favorite part is like, okay, why isn't Chica here? Well, Chica's being rented out. Anyways, I don't know. It just seems so, like, quick and easy to, I don't know. I feel like, shouldn't there be more to this than just, well, Chica's being fucking rented out. Okay, right?
There was one thing that William Afton didn't anticipate in all his plans: the spirits of the children wanting revenge. Now that they were freed from their animatronic prisons, they corner William in the safe room of the first Freddy Fazbear's restaurant, forcing him to hide out in the Golden Bonnie suit, which snaps shut, almost killing him, but not quite. It just transforms him into Springtrap. The restaurant seals the safe room and everything inside to escape liability.
The previously mentioned safe rooms are being sealed at most locations, including this one.
To me, this seems like the actions of Henry. Who else would seal a bloody, living body in a hidden room in a pizzeria? Henry seems like the best bet, but we can't know for sure. Regardless, Afton is locked back there until the year 2023 when Fazbear Fright opens. The phone dude discovers the hidden room and sets Afton, now Springtrap, loose once more. From there, we know pretty much everything else. Springtrap haunts Fazbear Fright only to have it burned down. It seems to me that this again was Henry's doing. The ultimate custom night samurai cutscenes symbolize their relationship.
You guys
William
are really,
Afton is
you're gonna really put this part in here?
Fox, and Freddy is Henry, the bear of vengeance. The last line of dialogue in these samurai cutscenes says,
Wait, what are we saying about 2023?
have it burned down. There we know pretty much everything else. Springtrap haunts Fazbear Fright only to have it burned down. It seems to me that this again was Henry's doing. The ultimate custom night samurai cutscenes symbolize their relationship.
Oh, Fazbear Frights is supposed to be in 2023. I see. Okay.
Afton is the fox and Freddy is Henry, the bear of vengeance.
I mean, the movie looks great. The movie looks awesome.
Cutscenes says it best. I will pursue the fox. I will find him in whatever land he has fled to. It is my destiny and it is his. Throughout the games, Henry is constantly trying to thwart William in escalating fashion. He starts by getting him kicked out of the FNAF 2 location. He then tries to get him arrested in the aftermath of the missing children's incident. He traps him bleeding and spring-locked in the walls of Freddy Fazbear's, and finally he sets him on fire not just once in Fazbear Fright, but a second time in Pizzeria Simulator. Meanwhile, the rebuilt Michael Afton, Michael version 2.0, searches for his dad to get some answers. He starts in Sister Location, meets Baby, but falls victim to the plot of the furious tangle of spirits held in the various Funtime animatronics. Together, they form Ennard and scoop Michael's body in an attempt to escape their prison. The scooping plan works, but Michael survives because, remember, he's a robot. Baby seems to know this based on her repeated use of
"You won't die, you won't die."
Okay, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's a fucking robot, but sure.
You won't die.
More in need of answers than ever before, Michael promises his father,
I'm going to come find you.
Which leads us at last to FNAF 6. Even though the puppet tried to free the spirits of the dead children in FNAF 3, it doesn't quite work. This is because the spirits were no longer complete, with parts of their souls now trapped in the Funtime animatronics, which themselves are now in the form of molten Freddy. This is why paragraph 4 is such a big deal throughout FNAF 6. Based on the insanity ending blueprints, paragraph 4 stipulates that all creatures containing Remnant must be in the pizzeria by the end of the week, so that when it burns, everyone goes with it. All remaining Remnant must be purged in order for the souls to finally be set free. Michael accepts the role as night guard at the simulated pizzeria. Henry summons all the animatronics there, burns it all to the ground, and finally releases everyone, including condemning William to hell. Well, he didn't release everyone. Golden Freddy, still a vengeful spirit, has a bone to pick with Willie, so she traps him in purgatory, forcing him to suffer for eternity at the hands of the monsters he created. And despite Old Man Consequence,
honestly, it's so hard to believe that somebody as like, whoa, I don't know, somebody as important as Golden Freddy of like, yeah, she traps and haunts him and now she can't rest, blah, blah, blah. She apparently had a death off game. You know what I mean? Like an off camera death. Is she important or is she not fucking important? Right?
is telling her to relax, she won't quit. Hence her soul still being in Golden Freddy's twitching eyes as he fades out into the darkness and as the series hits its final notes. I don't know about you, but between these last two videos, I think that's about as thorough as you could possibly want.
It was
so there
mistakenly
you have it,
thorough.
As
like,
deep
I do
of a
not
deep
want to
dive as I
know
can
all
go,
this
trying to answer as
possibility.
many questions as possible, all while putting things into an order that makes sense, while also accounting for as much of the evidence as possible. Is it a perfect timeline? No, but I don't think there can be. I think Mr. Hippo's custom night lines point us in that direction.
Mr.
I suppose
Hippo!
if a person just wants to talk, then it's best to not announce that you're telling a story. Telling a story does come with its own pressures and expectations, I suppose. After all, if you're just talking to a friend, then there's no more expectations than if you were talking into the wind. Words by themselves aren't expected to carry, aren't expected to stick. But if you announce you're telling a story, well then, there'd better be a point to it all, you know?
And conversely, at some point,
Mr.
you just
Hippo's
analyze down a
amazing.
story to the point of meaninglessness. In the end, whether this whole timeline is right or wrong, decoding FNAF's labyrinth of lore has been the single most exciting and enjoyable challenge I've covered on this channel. Yeah, we've covered it. A lot. A bit more than I would have liked, quite honestly.
I love that. I love that. Enjoy. I've covered on this channel.
Yeah, we've covered it. A lot.
Wait, no! We know you covered it a lot.
A bit more than I would have liked, quite honestly, but for good reason. Few games give their story this much thought, and even fewer games tell their stories in such a compelling,
Hello,
mysterious
sweetie.
way.
I hope you're
I've
doing
said this
well.
for a
Hello,
while
hello.
now, but FNAF is the perfect modern game. It's cheap, if not free, so anyone can play it. The mechanics are simple. It's fun to watch other people play it.
Like right.
Damn it! And it seeds in Easter eggs that get other people talking online. 4 years later, and still, only a handful of indie games and practically zero AAA games
Wait, what?
have followed in its footsteps.
What? Are you telling me Fortnite has crazy ass lore? Is that what you're fucking saying? I believe, like, obviously DDLC is a master at this, okay? A bit crazy lore? Nah, I can't imagine that. I can't imagine that. The one lore I know about Fortnite is the rise and fall of it, okay? Hello Neighbor, I can believe about the lore with Hello Neighbor, but it seems overall just a kind of fun game.
Despite FNAF's massive success. And that, perhaps, is the single greatest and saddest mystery of them all. If this truly is the end, thanks God for an incredible ride and providing a game that has forever changed.
Scott right now about to say, who? Huh? Who? Who said this shit was the end? Bitch? Hello?
Changed my life and this channel. But hey, that's just a theory.
A game theory.
Thank you for watching every single one of these videos. Woo! Now that the FNAF mystery is solved, go out and solve my merch mystery.
FNAF 7, The Untold Story of Sister Location. It's not even... Is it really? Oh my god, it is. It is the 7th game. What the fuck? How many more games are there? How many games are there in total? 9?
No.
Hold on. Okay, I need to use a bathroom real quick. Okay. Are we counting? We're not counting FNAF World. Like release and paid for games, I think. Oh, wait. Pizzeria is not paid for. Never mind. Yeah, let's not count FNAF World. Let me use the bathroom real quick. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, alrighty. We're back. Okay. Just wanna put it out there. This video is like 20 minutes long, but I do have a collab. We're doing a Valorant collab for the first day of my Valorant training arc. And so we'll watch a little bit and then we'll go to the Valorant collab and we'll be back, okay?
No, God, no, 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 God, no, no, no.
Me almost every time we spin the wheel. I'm just happy that he's kind of like open with it. He's like, no, I don't want any more also. Shit, I forgot my fucking water. I love it. Love what? Spinning the fucking wheel? Yeah, sometimes when it lands on like emotes or art. But really, I don't. I just know you guys love it. And I'm nothing if I don't, you know? He wants to end it, but can't. Right.
Screw it. Let's talk about this thing. By all that's unholy, FNAF is somehow back. Someone got together their little summoning circle of Funko plushies and recycled Chuck E. Cheese pizza.
Recycled
and
Chuck E.
awakened
Cheese
the sleeping
pizza.
behemoth that is Scott Cawthon. And now here we are with a new trailer for FNAF 7. And me, in children's pajamas.
I don't
Thank
think
you,
any... This is definitely
Also,
not
can
children's pajamas, bro. No child is this size.
Just agree that this is creepy, right? Not me wearing kids' PJs, certainly, though. Come to think
What
of it,
makes this kids' PJs? There's no fucking way a child would be wearing this shit, bro.
is really weird. No, the fact that I'm in a nightie that is dedicated to an animatronic that gets dead children stuffed into him. It's odd, man. Merch in 2019. Yeah, indie games. Now, at the end of last summer, FNAF
Thank you
was
for fixing your
basically
posture.
done. The book series had concluded, FNAF 6 had burned the series to the ground, and Ultimate Custom Night ended the story by trapping William Afton in eternal torment. All that was really left was the movie. Just like Jeremy laid to rest on a nearby hillside, it was time for the series to finally rest in peace. But then, back in November, Scott hopped onto Steam to give all us Fred heads an update, and suddenly, the movie was the lead.
Is that what you guys are called? Fred heads?
Certain thing of the group. A VR game? An AR game?
Wow,
More books?
you
a
Fred
third
heads.
new game called Into Madness? Clearly Scott intended me to be the protagonist of that one, since that's exactly where I'm headed to with so much new FNAF headed our way. Even
This is like completely different from the previous one. What's the difference in timeline for their releases? Because he's like out here doing actual full things instead of just having like a little PNG of him be like manipulated, dude.
AAA game, where apparently instead of stuffing children into animatronics, they start getting stuffed into loot boxes. Fast forward 4 months to today, and here we are with the first new Scott Cawthon teaser in nearly a year. A teaser for one.
Yeah, hold on. This still says 4 years ago, the previous one, and then the one right after says 4 years ago. So it's not crazy, but it's definitely different. I'll tell you that.
Something with some failure, but the history of the franchise.
Sorry, hold on.
With so much new FNAF stuffing children, 4 months.
There
to
you go.
today, and here we are with the first new Scott Cawthon teaser in nearly
That's only 4
a
months.
year. A teaser for one of the items.
Not even like
on
a
this
year in
massive
difference.
list of animatronic horror sent to taunt me. But which one is it, and what it means for this new era of FNAFing is exactly what we're exploring today. So, let's get analyzing. First, let's just assess what we're seeing here, shall we? Clearly, you have 5 animatronics that are all melted together, which would be interesting enough on its own, but making it even more compelling is the fact that they all span the history of the franchise. You have Freddy, Foxy, and Bonnie, all in their FNAF 1 forms, but then you also have the pre-Mangle form of Funtime Foxy from Sister Location, and also pre-trapped Springtrap from, well, a lot of different cutscenes throughout the series, but most notably from the Fruity Maze minigame dating in FNAF 6. You can actually tell this based on the general shape of the nose, as well as the lack of decay and aging that you normally see post-Springlock failure. But since this is a Scott Cawthon teaser, you know that there's gonna be more here than just a cool image. If you throw this thing into Photoshop and start brightening it up, step 1 in any FNAF teaser analysis, you're gonna see the background has lines. Lines with
like
some
a graph.
oddly inconsistent
Oh.
spacing. And of course, you have text. The quote is,
Yeah, no, this is so weird to me because Matt is like standing and doing shit. What the fuck is happening?
from Fazbear Entertainment in the upper
This
right-hand
is only
corner,
within
saying
like
that
what,
everything is
4
working as
episodes or
intended,
like
but also a
4
not
months?
quite so hidden bunch of text right here.
Bye,
in the middle of the
Antonio.
image
Have a
that
good
you
one.
really
Good
gotta
luck.
squint to truly read. Don't listen to them. Blank. Let something inside. It was an accident. Remember Jeremy.
Jeremy?
That's the guy from the gravestone. The night guard who has his name on the paycheck from FNAF 2. The supposed Bite of 87 victim. Ladies and gentlemen, sound the alarms. We are talking about the Loeb lad himself, which means that there's only one option here. We are in the same continuity. Cue the party horns and cheerful children sound effects. I know we were all eager to throw out our textbooks at the end of last semester, guys, but it's time to break out FNAF Lore for Dummies one final time. Whoopity-doo! Who's excited? this guy, I guess. Now, creating my own ARG over the last couple months has taught me a lot of things, specifically better ways to hide and code messages. And one particularly effective but simple way to do it is by opening image files as text files. So if
Write
we
that
open
down,
this
write that
image
down.
file in Notepad, we actually get our answer to that first missing word. Don't listen to them. We let something inside. It was an accident. Remember Jeremy. So with all of that evidence compiled, let's start analyzing before we start digging deeper. Because there's a lot deeper to go, ladies and gentlemen. We are just scratching the surface.
All right, it's time for me to disassociate now.
Remember Jeremy actually tells us a lot of things here. First, it tells us both the speaker of that line and the person it's directed to know who Jeremy is. Secondly, it tells us that the events of this game are happening in the aftermath of his death, which at this point is commonly accepted to be the result of the bite of 87. So from a timeline perspective, it looks like this quote is coming after 1987, meaning that we're after the string of murders in the FNAF 2 location and around the time
If you have your theories correct,
revisit to the
obviously.
FNAF 1 building and his discovery of sister locations. In fact, knowing where in the timeline this quote must fall and seeing those lines in the background of the teaser, my mind immediately jumps to prison bars. Now, that seems like it might be a stretch.
Yeah,
Clearly,
okay, understandable.
These are just meant to be tiles, and while yes, that's probably what they are, the inconsistent spacing still felt weird to me, and it resembled the narrow strip of horizontal bars that many prison doors have. Now think back, way back to when—
Honestly, I do like teaser and trailer analysis more than whenever he tries to put together a new timeline.
this story first started. Back to the secret newspapers from FNAF 1. The things
Spoiler,
that first
it's
told
a
us that there
different
was
Jeremy.
deeper
Is that a
story to begin
joke?
with.
What
Quote,
could be
"Video
another
surveillance
Jeremy?"
identified the man responsible and led to his capture the following morning, end quote. And on the follow-up story, headline, 5 children now missing, suspect convicted. While the suspect has been charged, the bodies themselves were never found, end quote. So if these newspaper clippings are still—
This is so fucked up, right? The idea that there's a new character, new OG character coming called Jeremy. That is legitimate, like, which it happens to be another, like, supposed longtime character from the timeline. That's just fucked up, dude. That's genuinely fucked up of Scott to do. We know that. That's actually fucked up of Scott to do.
Southern Devil Cane is now boarding. Welcome to Label Air. Hope you have a safe and enjoyable flight.
Considered canon, this former employee was convicted, meaning that they found him guilty, and as a result, most likely he went to prison for his crime. And we can be fairly confident that this isn't Afton, since his only comeuppance seems to have been the Springlock failure and the eventual eternal torment in HE double toothpicks, meaning that there is still a potential story to be told of someone there who's trapped in prison, wrongfully accused, haunted by the nightmarish amalgamation of animatronics that got him thrown into the slammer. At least, that's my wishful thinking for a potential plotline for one of these stories. Is it the story that we're getting in this game? Probably not, but a boy in Freddy pajamas can dream. Can't he?
Yeah, see, there's like a whole bunch of, like, room and space at the bottom of this mask. Okay, this is definitely an adult's thing. There's no way this is a children's pajama.
Let's go back to the text. Don't trust them. That them could be referring to the animatronics, or it could be referring to the members of Fazbear Entertainment, that quote in the upper corner saying that everything is working as intended. Now, as established by Ultimate Custom Night, the only haunted characters who still possess rational thought are Baby and the puppet.
The others are like animals, but I am very aware.
It's kind of fucked up of you to say, puppet. What are you, is that an insult? What are you trying to say out here? The others also went through fucking crime, all right? They're also victims, bitch. God.
Eliminates everyone that we currently see on screen here, thereby making it doubtful that the them in this quote is referring to the animatronics. Instead, this seems to be 2 employees of Fazbear Entertainment talking to each other, basically confirming not to trust what the bosses are saying. All the other lines here, we let something in, it was an accident, remember Jeremy, seem like those same co-workers realizing that something is wrong.
She's a child. The rest of them were child too. The rest of them were also children, okay? There's also children and probably an employee in here. Why is she the only quote-unquote fucking smart one? That shit sounds fake.
Mistake that they made, a mistake that's ultimately related to Jeremy's death, and now they're both worried about their own survival. Remember Jeremy seems to me to read more like, hey, remember—
Dude, this, like, I feel like I'm watching, I don't know, like a CSI show or whatever, Forensic Files, dude. The way he, like, pointed at this and pulled it up like a fucking weather boy, holy shit.
That guy? We don't remember Jeremy seems to me to read more like, hey, remember that guy? We don't want to end up like him. So now, looking back across the game—
No, because it doesn't feel like remember Jeremy, question mark. It feels like remember Jeremy statement. Remember Jeremy. There's a period at the end of this. You can pick out hex codes with your eyes, but you can't pick out that there's a fucking period instead of a fucking question mark.
hey, remember that guy? We don't want to end up like him. So now, looking back across the games, what are some of the mistakes where something deadly has been let in? Well, you got Springtrap being let into Fazbear Fright in FNAF 3. You have basically the entire—
Okay, I need to apologize, you guys. It's time, all right? It's time. We're going to start out with our Valorant training arc. Day 1! Yeah. Be right back for a second. Okay, while we're waiting, because we're waiting just a little bit for 13, we'll continue on with this.
entirety of FNAF 6's salvage minigames, and Ennard from Sister Location. Ennard, who, funny enough, during the false ending to that game, repeatedly begs you to let him in.
You must help us. You must let us inside the room.
You have to let me inside the room. I know it was an accident.
An accident?
We have two co-workers who wind up dead because they let something inside. Sister Location again. Now, it's a scene that's really easy to forget, but night 5 of Sister Location actually starts with Michael Afton crawling through the vents and suddenly coming across the hanged bodies of 2 former technicians.
Oh, yeah.
Done in by the newly escaped pieces of Ennard. So we have something where the placement in the timeline makes sense. The relationship of the characters to Jeremy as co-workers makes sense. Their skepticism of Fazbear Entertainment definitely makes sense. And you know what? That's not all. Their role specifically as technicians also makes sense with everything that we're learning about this new game. You see, Scott wasn't content to just give us one teaser.
Oh, okay,
He
okay,
gave
okay.
us 8
What?
separate images teasing this new game, apparently to make up for lost time. Thanks, buddy. I mean, sure, we just analyzed the imagery and text of this one image, but if you check the source code of Scott's website, which at this point is FNAF Research Step 2, right after brightening up the images, you'll notice odd strings of text, all with this tag, content equals. Well, if you take those strings of letters and plug them into the URL bar, it reveals a trove of new findings. The first and most important of them, we're gonna be playing as a technician. Here, in this image, we can actually see Freddy's body opened up, ready to be worked on, which perfectly coincides with what Scott teased when he initially mentioned the possibility of this new VR game. Quote, if you liked repairing Funtime Freddy up close and sister location, just wait until you try to do something like that in VR. Up close and personal with these huge animatronics that are just one mistake away from jumping at you.
Yikes. Yikes.
Another of these images, the one of
Wait,
Bonnie
is that what it
without the eye-
says? Wait, where did it say that? Oh, okay, okay. Inside of the... All right, cool. Inside of Steam.
Another of these images, the one of Bonnie without the eye, also is teasing at this idea of no longer being a guard, but rather an animatronic tech having to repair all of these robots. So could the main story of this new FNAF game actually be the story of these two hapless technicians who end their lives in an underground robotics bunker? If the quote on this teaser is to be believed, the answer seems to be a solid yes. If it is, it even relates back to the title.
Don't listen to them. Let something inside. It was an accident. But shouldn't we? That sounds real sus. Like we shouldn't let them inside at all, I feel like.
Seems to be a solid yes. If it is, it even relates back to the title of the game. You see, going back to look at the source code yet again, you see
It was
that
a
the
no.
original
It was
teaser
a no.
image is listed as hw.jpg. Now,
Homework!
back in February, my buddy Dawko tweeted out that a new FNAF game had gotten leaked on the ESRB ratings website. The ESRB, man, get your act together. First you leak the Super Smash Bros. 4 roster, and now you're leaking the new FNAF game? It is time to stop.
Yeah, leaking. Wink. Yeah, totally. Dude, that's just, they definitely, no, marketing never leaks.
It's time to stop, okay? And yes, this is someone else's meme, but I thought it was appropriate for the situation.
Boo!
Plus, I'm in pajamas, thought it would be funny.
Pajamas have absolutely nothing to do with the fucking... Oh, does it? Does it have something to do with the clock? I don't know. Never mind. Because it says Filthy Frank, we miss you right here. And it's like, oh, I didn't... Maybe Filthy Frank has a bit. I don't know.
There it is. Filthy Frank, we miss you. But in all seriousness, this game's title is Five Nights at
I know who
Freddy's
Joji is,
VR
but I'm just saying I don't know what
Wanted.
Filthy Frank's like things are. I don't watch
just
Filthy
like the
Frank.
name of the
I don't listen to
teaser.
Joji or watch Filthy
description
Frank.
for this leaked game even confirms that you will be playing as a technician. Quote, once again, players assume the role of a repair person tasked with monitoring and repairing animatronic characters at a pizzeria. From a first-person perspective, players explore dark hallways, complete puzzles, and try to avoid menacing, malfunctioning animatronic figures. The game contains frequent screams and jump scares with the words, "You are dead," appearing on screen after players are attacked. End quote. And what happens when you lose 2 technicians to sudden animatronic-related fatalities? Time to find some more. Throw up the sign, help wanted. So we have ourselves a VR game starring a technician who's repairing animatronics.
This sounds ridiculous, right? But I really do just want, you know how in pizzeria, if you don't mess up or like you don't get enough risk or whatever, then you don't get scared. I kind of want that ability, but in a little technician game, right? Like I get to repair all these little animatronics and they're just chill. And then they start working properly again.
Slowly coming to realize that they've made a terrible career decision. Or do we? Looking across all the other teaser images, it feels like this whole game may actually be disconnected. We see scenes from all the various settings we visited in this franchise. The tile floor behind that old model of Bonnie suggests that it's the FNAF 1 location. This shot of—
What are you saying? The what floor? It's like fucking dark in here.
The tile
What?
floor behind that old model of Bonnie
Don't point out at it and then don't fucking brighten it. The fuck?
suggests that it's the FNAF 1 location. This shot of Springtrap looming in the background tells us that we're going to be visiting Fazbear Fright. The appearance of Funtime Foxy in the teaser suggests that we'll be visiting Sister Location for some challenges. Heck, we're even going to be invading the crying child's bedroom from FNAF 4 based on this shot of Baby. Notice the iconic closets from that game as well as the bedspread design in the background.
Hey, this is actually really sick though. The idea that it's all like, but maybe that's what he wants to do to throw you off. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you never know where this is going to be or what this is going to do because these are all from all the different ones.
So, is this game just going to be a bunch of vignettes? A compilation of the series' greatest scares, only now they're in VR? I don't think so. I do think that this game can and will tell its own unique story.
Dude, the fucking music in the background too. Man, MatPat, like, this is where it is. If anybody wants to see when the change happened for all his FNAF fucking things, this is it. This fucking video is completely different.
Builds out the lore of this franchise, and one of these teaser images solidifies that for me. True to form, Scott hit his biggest reveal the deepest. You see, going on to Scott Games one final time, and it's a lot of times to visit Scott Games just for one teaser image, something seems a little off. If you're paying close enough attention. You see, the meta label for the website is actually misspelled with a 0 in between the two T's. And if you go through the source code with a really fine-tooth comb and a really keen eye, you'll actually notice a couple more typos. An R in content, a big old G in block quote, and an N in the word text. 0 RGN. Type those letters into the URL bar and you get this. Now, clearly—
Bro, what the fuck? Dude, this is a lot.
It's been obscured very heavily, but if you blur it and affect the contrast a little bit, change some of the levels, you actually get something that looks more like this. Something that doesn't just look like an animatronic, but one animatronic.
It looks specifically like the fucking Terminator.
In particular. Notice the half-closed eye. It's Ennard. It's Ennard's
no, I'm pretty
signature
sure
appearance.
it's Terminator.
Half-closed eye, horizontal tube-like lips, an endoskeleton looking to be let in. So, there you have it. We have ourselves a new VR game telling us the story of two technicians who made a fatal career decision.
He really says this as if he specifically knows this is it. Like, congratulations. You just like a full actual puzzle you can just figure out.
On the fact that the game already has a rating, I'm assuming that we're gonna probably
FNAF is
see
great
this
and
one
all,
coming
but
out
when
pretty
is Five
soon.
Nights at Lily Bell's releasing? Hiding in the cupboard with Taco Bell and trying to finish it before being discovered.
Hi, Farseer Senpai. Good to see you, sweetie. Good to see you. Literally impossible. The minute I smell that waft of crunch wrap, I'm coming after you, buddy.
Weird, actually, to think about a FNAF game coming out on something like PlayStation 4, the PlayStation VR. I'm excited to see it. Will I be right in my predictions? Well, we're just gonna have to wait and see. And by wait, I mean it's probably out already now. As soon as I hit publish, it probably came out, because, you know, that's how Scott goes.
Right?
Right?
It's true.
Is it out? Is it out yet? How about now? Right now. It's there. Nothing?
That is such a terrible bit. That's an awful, awful bit. That's literally so fucking cheesy. I almost felt like it's so cheesy. It rivaled DreamWorks endings of having a dance party, but not like Guardians of the Galaxy dance party, but like fucking Groot dance party. Okay.
All right, screw it. I'm gonna go get out of these pajamas. But hey, did you notice the new It's back.
It's back. No 13 yet. Yeah, no 13 yet. That's okay. Everybody wish 13 a very good match. 13 is in the middle of an ape. Oh, never mind. 13 is sending a friend request. I have lied. Literally just now. Did you win? Did you win, 13? You're good. Don't worry. Yeah,
Lily's
I'm
the sexiest
not
Vtuber
going
on
anywhere.
Twitch.
Thank you, Tactical. I appreciate it. Finish in third. Hey, let's go. Let's do it. All right. I'm going to call you, and you're going to pick up, okay?